Good morning and happy Saturday to you all.
Good morning,
Welcome,
everybody.
welcome, and another welcome. I am Shay Forston, the co-founder of Forston Consultants, the founder of the Angela Denise Foundation, and we are here to talk to you today about all things housing, all things shared living, and most definitely the independent living facility model and the HRA. So, Derek, go ahead and introduce yourself to the fine people and let's get this party started.
Absolutely. Good morning, everybody. Thank y'all so much for being here. First of all, you guys got a lot of choices, and it's early for some of you all. So thank y'all so much for being here. But also thank you to everybody that'll catch the replay later. But as Shay said, man, this is Saturday, and happy Saturday to everybody. And this is the day where we usually talk about the HRA program, right? So the Housing Referral Agency. Today is usually catered to people that want to house the homeless and the displaced, but they just are not geared up just yet to either buy, lease, or rent a property. So if you still have the means and the want to do this, and if it's in your heart, the HRA kind of gets rid of every excuse that you could possibly have. Or as I like to say sometimes, it gets rid of the hurdles which most people think that it takes to get into this kind of business. So again, if you ever desire to house the homeless, the displaced, or if you just want to start your own housing program, if you thought you wanted to start a group home, right? The model that we teach you guys every Saturday will relieve all of your stress because you're thinking that you need to have a house, buy it, rent it, or lease it. The HRA gets rid of all of that because it allows you to still house the homeless and the displaced, make an impact and an income, right? Good morning, Miss Nikki. Miss Nikki and Mr. Radar. I hope I'm saying that. No, Radir. I spoke to Miss Nikki and Radir yesterday, so I'm super excited that they're here. And again, even for all of the new people that we're teaching the ILF Mastery Blueprint to, the meaning that you're going to one day have your own place. The HRA still allows you to be a housing referral agency and a housing program at once. So again, this is for people that don't have a property. You can't buy it, rent it, or lease it. Or if you have a property, but you become full to capacity, or if you receive a phone call for a client that doesn't meet your criteria, right? You can now refer them out to somebody else versus just saying, oh, I'm sorry, we can't help you. Click, have a great day. Like that's not how it works, right? So we teach you guys to be an ultimate resource, if nothing else. So again, man, thank y'all for joining us. My name is Derek Forston. I'm also the founder and thought leader of Second Chance Housing. That's my personal independent living facility where we take people from homeless to hopeful and where we create pathways out of homelessness by providing a shared housing environment for homeless adults. And I thank you guys for being here because the YouTube, you guys are going to get a chance to see a lot of the slides. So if you guys are on Clubhouse or streaming anywhere else where you can only hear me, consider coming over to YouTube because we want to show you guys a lot of the footage. In fact, I'm going to bring up some stuff right now as I begin to still speak to you all. I'm also the founder and thought leader of Forston Consultants, where my family and I, me and Shay, my mom, my entire family, we go all over the world showing people what this concept is, right? What is an independent living facility? And for people that, again, want to get started, but just, again, are not quite sure how they will get into it because they thought they couldn't buy a house or rent one, we're going to teach you guys how to do a model that's, again, called the HRA. And again, I'm just bringing up a few slides, guys. So give me a second. Also, go ahead and put in the chat what city and state you're tuning in from, or let's act in faith. What city and state may you launch in when you do start your own independent living facility or your own housing program?
I love that.
Shay, go ahead and hop in really quick. And also, because people always ask us about that whole nonprofit or for-profit, as I'm putting slides up, Shay, talk to the people real quick in terms of how you do what we do from a nonprofit standpoint.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there any difference?
There isn't much of a difference in so as Derek said, I have a nonprofit organization by the name of the Angela Denise Foundation. And if you've been following us on Instagram, YouTube, and all that good stuff, you'll see that we're doing a project where we are renovating a home that we're going to be, transitioning women from homelessness to hopeful in. The difference with the nonprofit is, again, and the for-profit is literally going to be the setup of the actual entity, right? I am not out to make a profit as a nonprofit organization. The goal is to be that community invested organization that helps your community more so than helps the actual founder. There is no owner quote fingers of a nonprofit organization, right? Your community has buy-in, and the people that you serve have the buy-in on what your organization does. Therefore, you have a board of directors, right? They have to approve a lot of what you're doing. You can't just say, hey, tomorrow I'm going to pay myself $50,000 because we got this grant in, right? It doesn't work like that. You will quickly lose all of your funding if that is the route you are thinking of taking. But the difference is, again, it's more of the structural aspect of it and how money filters through a nonprofit organization. So where Derek can pay himself, I have to get approval from the board that says this is what our administrative team or our board members or whoever's doing the day-to-day heavy lifting of the nonprofit organization will be paid. So I think that's one of the biggest things, and one of probably the most biggest misconceptions is that, yeah, you can make a whole lot of money by having a nonprofit. You can, but you have to be a very large scale nonprofit. And you have to make sure that the money's filtering the right way, because you can indeed lose your nonprofit status if you really, if you do too much with the funding. Funding is public knowledge for a nonprofit organization. So every time you file your taxes, that is public knowledge. People that are partners in that organization want to see where the funds are going and what you are doing. So everything that you do becomes public knowledge when you have a nonprofit organization. But when it comes to doing exactly this, the housing or the HRA, or being an ILF provider, this is considered one of my programs. I have a housing program affiliated with the Angela Denise Foundation. And when the funds come in for that, it allows me to now reallocate those funds to do other things, i.e., toiletry totes for individuals for homeless individuals. Or it helps with the Flourish to Furnish campaign. So those funds
May want to talk
are
about that too, because
recycled.
that's exciting.
Yeah, those funds are actually recycled back into the nonprofit organization and is moved, back into other programs, and possibly pay for individuals that we bring in to consult or do something for us that teaches or helps us to expand and grow. Derek, I do want to talk about the Flourished to Furnished program. So our Flourish to Furnish program is a huge undertaking. We've been able to partner with very large nonprofit organizations here locally. And what they allow us to do is, when we have a resident that graduates out of the ILF or the independent living facility model into their own space, they allow us to furnish their property. So it may be living room, bedroom, furniture, all of that stuff that they'll need, right? Because most times they're coming out of this situation, they've got enough money to really sustain. We make sure that they have more than enough, but for the most part, we don't want them to dip into that more than enough to try and have to find furniture, to try and buy all of this stuff. So what we do is we partner with that nonprofit organization. When they get items in, we then go and furnish that individual's property, their new residence. Prime example, the Angela Denise Foundation was actually a recipient of its own Flourish to Furnish campaign, but not so much so from the Flourish to Furnish campaign. But our partners that we partner with in that campaign literally helped us furnish the new location that some of y'all will be able to come and see once we're all set and squared away. I'm sure you've seen it on our social media. So we've gotten, geez, Louise, Derek, we got a living room set, and nothing cheap, y'all. I'm telling you, they blessed our
Because
socks
Shay's a
off.
nonprofit,
They
Shay's
blessed our
welcome to
socks
this
off.
kind of stuff, whereas I'm
Right.
not. Now
He's
we just kind of
right.
drop that gem, right? So
Right.
again, you guys are going to see a lot of stuff. In fact, I think Shay's got a lot of it already on her social media. So usually you guys know I'm the social media king, but if you guys go and visit the Angela Denise Foundation, I think both on Instagram and Facebook,
Correct.
Shay took a lot of footage of this stuff that was gifted to Shay, brand new furniture like Love Sack. You
Yeah.
guys have seen that commercial Love Sack,
Listen.
those couches that cost $8,000 with the speakers in them. Like Shay was gifted that kind of stuff. So again, I want to
Yeah.
interject just really quick when people
No, go
say,
for it.
should I go nonprofit or for profit?
It just
There's
depends on the
advantages on both
mission.
sides.
Yeah.
The advantage right now today is Shay got a bunch of furniture, tens of thousands of dollars of furniture that she didn't have to pay for. Whereas me, I'm married to her. We sleep in the same house. We're together. We do the same thing, but they wouldn't have gave that stuff to me. But lucky for me, I'm married to her, again, live in the same house, do the same business. So can she gift it to me, or can I still be a part of it? Because again, even though Shay is the president and she run it, remember, guys, I'm still a part of that, right? Shay don't not let me be a part of it. But again, second chance housing, my LLC, they will not give that furniture to me.
No.
Shay, back on you.
No, that's totally correct.
And you guys are going to see tons of it starting again, probably on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, of all of the stuff that was gifted to Shay. Thousands of dollars of brand new furniture.
Literally, I have to go, Derek, and do inventory. So a lot of things that people don't know is when you get in donations of this caliber, they do have a dollar equivalent to it, right? Associated with it. So I have to go and do inventory, and then I send that over to my VA. And then, like, when we file for next year, when we file for 2024 taxes, those items are part of that. Like, prime example, I'm going to give you a gem. The Angela Denise Foundation, with this particular receipt of receiving the items that we received, we probably received over $10,000 worth of donations. And that's in the furniture, because all of it was brand new. Everything was brand new. Nothing used, nothing, everything was brand new. So again, if you look up Love Sacks, the Love Sactional, not a sectional, a Sactional, it's about, it runs you about $3,500. Not talking about the whole outdoor living room set that they gave us, along with it's a lot of stuff, y'all. I can't even begin to explain how much stuff was in that. But again, that's the benefits of being a nonprofit organization, right? Also, that when I go shopping for my nonprofit organization, I do have something that's called a tax certificate. So when I go certain places, I keep it in my purse, in a little folio. If I'm going and I'm shopping for things for the ladies, I present that, and I don't pay the sales tax on those items, because of being that nonprofit, and I'm doing, and I'm working.
I go shopping with Shay, y'all. Because again, I don't get that benefit. Right. So good morning, Daryl and Dina from Houston. Good to see you all. And also, just really quick, I'm gonna let Shay keep going. But if you're brand new to us, and if you've never been here, or you're fairly new to us, we actually got a free gift for you. So if you guys text the word new, NEW, to the number 407-326-0086, we got a free gift for you. And also, if you just joined us, we're just kind of rambling right now, but every Saturday we teach you guys how to start your own housing referral agency for the homeless, the displaced, or anybody that has a guaranteed income. So Saturdays are catered to people that want to do what we do, housing the homeless and the displaced. But maybe right now you can't buy a property. Maybe right now you can't rent or lease a property. So we teach you how to use virtual assistants, right, at $5 an hour, a cell phone and an internet connection, and hopefully a computer. And that's all you need to be able to house the homeless and the displaced. So again, welcome everybody. Thank y'all so much for being here. I'm gonna give it back over to Shay. But even before we jump in it, right, I want to talk about just how my week personally went this week. Because my main VA that would normally answer the phone for second chance housing, and most of y'all know who she is, that's Jess. Jess actually was out Thursday and Friday, and this is Jess, right? So Jess handles all of the social media, the answering of the telephones, the building of the relationships in the community for second chance housing, everything, email correspondence, everything that you can think of, Daryl. But she was out these last 2 days. So guess who the phone calls were filtered through? Me. So just this week alone, man, I want to give some examples of the kind of people that we're housing and the opportunities that you guys could also do. Because don't forget, guys, a housing referral agent, meaning you, is somebody that's going to still house the homeless and the displaced, but you don't have a property. You're going to leverage people like me or your neighbor or somebody in your city to house them for you, and then you make a referral fee. So Daryl and his beautiful wife just joined in from Houston. Let's just say he listens to everything that I got to say today, and he start his research in Orlando, where I am, which is very smart. So the first thing that he probably didn't know, you can do the HRA in all 50 states. So after this meeting today, Daryl and his wife can literally start referring to my program Monday morning. I'm gonna say that again real slowly because I talk fast sometimes and I stutter. So I want to make sure that you guys can hear this. You guys can start referring to me Monday morning because all you got to do is listen to what we're going to teach you today, do the research and the work in Orlando, and then call Jess and say, Jess, boy, I got a great guy. Jess, he's 65 years old. I did everything Derek told me to do on that Saturday morning. And Jess, I got a referral. Can you guys interview Mr. Bobby Jones and see if he's a good fit for your program?
Not Bobby Jones.
We're going to do an assessment on Bobby Jones, Shay. And if he's a good fit, and we move him in and he pay rent, man, I owe Daryl and Dina or Deanna, whichever one she prefers, I owe you guys a referral fee. You guys just housed the homeless and the displaced. You made an impact and you made an income all at the same time, and you didn't need the property.
Oh, yeah.
We think that's genius, actually. Because for years, we taught this to people, and when we first got into it, you had to have a property. You had to have a house to make this work. You had to lease it. You had to rent it. You had to buy it. But with the HRA model, you just leverage relationships. So a lot of what we're going to talk about today is leveraging relationships. And now we got real smart along the way. And everything that we do now, we do it with the virtual assistant. Because where Jess lives at in the Philippines, $5 an hour for her, she's almost rich. That's a well-to-do life in the Philippines. But here where I live in America, $5 an hour to run my business, my ministry, the thing that changes lives in my community, $5 an hour is very affordable. I'll never forget, Shay, the first time I talked about this, and a lady called me and she was really offended. Derek, how dare you pay people $5 an hour? She was mad at me. She didn't understand in the Philippines, the minimum wage is about $1 an hour. $2 an hour if you got a little bit of education. So at $5 an hour to work from home, I'm a no-brainer to everybody that lives over there. And that's why we actually built the company from it. So we have a staffing agency in the Philippines by the name of VA 101. They'll put it in the chat. So if you need a virtual assistant, and we all do, right? Because this is who runs my program now. God and I built Second Chance Housing about 6-7 years ago. But today, and about 12 months ago, I gave this whole program over to Jess. So Jess is like family to me now, and she runs this program. Jess also runs the HRA for me. So when the phone rings and some guy that doesn't meet the criteria or we're full at the time, Jess is going to call one of you and see if you got bed availability.
Right.
And if you take our client, now my referral fee is $300. Some people charge $100. Some people charge $200. Some people charge the whole first month's rent. That's kind of up to you. And we teach you that on a 14-minute webinar that's for free at forsterconsultants.com. We also got the HRA as a business in a box, right, for only $9.97 today. If you ever desire to house the homeless or the displaced but don't have a property, or you do have a property and you're full, or you get calls from people that may not meet the criteria, how can you refer them somewhere else and still help them versus just hanging up and saying, nope, don't help you? Click.
Yeah.
So the first step to all of that is, what is a housing referral agency? Somebody that is acting on behalf of somebody that needs housing. And just again, real quick, Shay, I'm going to slow it down because I said I was going to talk a little bit about what was this week like for us.
Oh,
I housed a gentleman. Watch this. I got a call, and these are the kind of calls that you guys are going to get. I got a call from a social worker, and this is called an emergency placement.
Yeah.
Where somebody that probably was running a housing program, they just drove this guy to the hospital and dropped him off. Over 70 years old, drove him to the hospital, dropped him off. And not only that, we learned through the assessment that he was sleeping in the garage. The garages are 103 degrees with tires, tire equipment, tools, dirty laundry, and a bunch of other miscellaneous stuff. Guys, these are the opportunities that we're presented with. That's why we have this slogan, taking people from homeless to hopeful. Because sleeping in the garage is the same thing as being homeless to me. He's sleeping in outside elements, super hot during the daytime, and get a little cold at night.
Yeah.
With tires and equipment and all of this stuff in a garage. Oh, and by the way, y'all, he was paying $850 a month to live in it. This is the opportunity that we had. And I'll be honest with you guys. You're going to hear today about all the populations in which we serve, right? My background as a social worker is in the mental health field. So I dealt with the depression, schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, schizoaffective disorder, anxiety, all of that stuff. But this guy, again, yes, he had a mental illness, but guys, he's medication compliant, which means he takes his meds, so he is as normal as you and I. Gets a great income, but somebody saw fit to put this guy in a garage. And again, I always tell people, if that don't break your heart, you probably in the wrong area right now. Like you're wrong, you amongst the wrong people, because in this genre of what we do, we love God, we love people, and we love real estate. Yeah. God is just genius, Shay, how he allowed us to mesh all of those together. Really slowly, Shay, and I hope y'all have the same desire. Yeah. We love God, we love people, and Joanne, we love real estate. Jamisha, this is what we all about. Big shout out from all my people from Missouri. And again, can you imagine your grandfather, your dad, sleeping in the garage because you thought you sent him somewhere to go sleep in a bed in a program, and they got your dad in a garage?
Exactly.
Lord have mercy. I'm moving on because I can stay on that for hours.
No. But this is something that we see happen regularly in this field, right? People get excited about the income and then they mistreat the people.
You can't mistreat the people, Shay.
You cannot. And that's where we become that opportunity for the case manager, the social worker, right? That's where they know us as the go-to. Whenever these calls come in very frequently for Derek and I. And the crazy thing about it is people don't even have the I don't even know what the word
decency might
that's
be good.
It, right? They don't even have the decency to say, let me at least take this person to the hospital, see if I can speak to somebody and just let them know, look, he needs help. I don't know how to help him, whatever, right? That's not the case. This was literally what they literally took all his stuff, put it in the back of their car, and when they got to the hospital, they left him on the doorpost. Like, who does that?
And then, Shay, the other side to it that I'm gonna turn into a teaching lesson is this: by the time we got the call, they said, Derek, thank you so much, man. You know how many people we called today and nobody's answering? So don't get Shay.
Don't get the two calls.
Don't get Shay on her trip about being available. Because again, we also heard a lot this week about how people are not available.
Nowhere near available.
Nobody's answering the phone and nobody's returning calls once they leave in a message.
Yep. Like
I'm gonna mesh all of these stories together, Shay. So if I happen to mess it up, you will help me. But because Shay, the very next story is about how we got the phone call
when nobody was answering the phone
for 9 people that were being evicted. And I'm gonna be real careful how I word this because I don't want to get nobody in trouble.
Don't even
9 people were evicted from, I'm gonna just call it a building, right? Where 9 people have to leave within the next 14 days.
Because they called.
And Shay, I'm gonna go as far as to say this, and Shay, don't have a heart attack. Just relax, Shay.
If you're gonna say what I think you're gonna say,
this is a respected government official. I'll just put it that way, that owns this building. Period. The building is full of roaches, rats, and all of this stuff. And the building is being sold to this other program because they're gonna knock it down to the ground and build brand new housing. They call it what's that big word? Gentrification or something? I don't know.
Okay.
I'm probably saying it the wrong way.
Yeah, I thought you.
As y'all see, Shay is very afraid of how I word stuff at times. I like to keep it so real, but I also want to be tactful. And I ain't trying to get people in trouble, but I want to go, y'all. I just want to show y'all what we face every day.
We do.
This is a government elected official that owns this building that is housing people. And the building is full of rats and roaches, y'all. 9 people need a place to live now. This is the call that we have.
Yeah, and now we've got to make sure.
I'm going to move on from that. Here's another one that we got. 72-year-old lady. Here's an innocent one. 72 years old, been living in this place for 5 years. The owner decides to sell the house and only give her 15 days notice. Oh, man, by the way, we selling this place and you got to find somewhere to live in 15 days. This call went to the Salvation Army. It went to the Goodwill. It went to our local community organization that's called the Christian Hope Center here. And then somehow they found us on a list. And they say, Mr. Derek, I hope you can help us. This is what we got. Here's this nice lady. Her income is this. She's this kind of person, no mental illness. But Derek, she needs your help. Can you help? As these are the kind of calls that we get each and every day. Two more examples, and I'm gonna end it because I can stay on each of one of these examples for 20 minutes each. And I'm gonna let Shay expound on each one of them. Shay, what about the call from the VA? There's a kind of an exciting one, and there's one that was a little sad. The exciting one is hopefully if you've been nosy and you've been to my Facebook and Instagram, because I want y'all to be nosy. I want you to go and see. LinkedIn is where it started at. We met this brand new place. Big shout out to Angela Brooks. I hope she's here today. Angela was being a great HRA person. Here's a great example of what the HRA is, y'all. If Angela Brooks is in here, wave your hand, Angela. If not, somebody tag her. Angela Brooks is the epitome of what the HRA is, right? Right now, today, Angela does not have a house. She didn't go buy one, she didn't rent one, and she didn't lease one yet, because that's in her future plan. But she's meeting with social workers and case managers and hospitals all week long, every day, setting up appointments, talking about she has a housing program.
Yeah.
Now, to some of y'all, that's going to sound crazy. Why would she do that, Derek? She don't have a house. You said she don't have a house, Derek. Guess what she has, though? She don't need the real estate. She needs relationship.
Yep, she has plenty of relationships.
And because she's family to us through this teaching, she's leveraging Shay's brand new house that Shay's rehabbing right now. She's leveraging the houses that I have and other people that are in our area who already have the real estate. The VA place that you guys saw me at is called Valor Lake. Big shout out to Miss Nikki. You and I talked about this yesterday. Valor Lake is a brand new building, not even 8 months old yet. They do intensive outpatient case management for military veterans. Guess who set up the appointment and told those people she has housing? And guess who Angela brought with her to this appointment?
Her partners.
Her partners, her relationships. Because remember, she doesn't have the housing. So guess who got all dressed up in their blazer and their nice coat and their high heels? Not me, that was Shay. But I had on a nice blazer as well with my loafers. And we showed up to talk about who we are, what we do, and Shay's favorite, that we're available. Shay, I'm going to pause and let you jump in and talk about that meeting before I go any further. And what's the epitome of what the HR is to what Angela did?
So that meeting, first and foremost, was amazing, right? And this is something that we train our people with all the time, right? When you tell a case manager or a social worker, just give me 5 minutes of your time, 3 minutes of your time, I won't be long. And you show up bearing gifts. First and foremost, Angela was like, they don't want donuts.
She followed all the instruction from the coaches, first of all, and then got the instruction from the people.
Yep. So they were like, they didn't want donuts. They were like, no, that's right after lunch, blah, 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 blah. But long story short, she did come bearing gifts. And that was a big platter of cookies and juices. So it was amazing how that was so received. And Derek and I had to laugh because we go to case managers all the time and we've never left with a gift.
Yeah, that's the first time I've ever seen that.
Such an impression.
Yeah.
And built such a strong relationship with this organization that before she was even able to drop Derek, you had the cookies. Before Derek was even able to lay the cookies down, they were throwing her a gift in her hand.
In a whole bag, like a gift bag.
A whole gift bag.
And I was like, I never, and we all kind of laughed and joked about it because we do this all the time. We bring the coffee and the donuts and the gifts and the pens and the calendars and just to say thank you for the great work that you're doing. That lady turned around and said, well, let's exchange because I have a gift for you all. And she went, I was like, wow.
Derek was so full by that. But let me tell you the powerful piece of this whole scenario. The reason why Angela Brooks received this opportunity to go and present with this organization was because she answered the phone.
The lady was impressed by it, actually.
Answered
something so simple.
The phone. And she expressed that again when we got to the location. When we had arrived to this facility, the lady pretty much said, if Angela had not answered the phone, she said, do you know how many phone calls I have made this week? And no one has either answered the phone, returned our call, or the phone's disconnected.
That's crazy, man. And
Your
that's why I
best,
tell people,
listen,
sorry, Shay,
go
if
ahead.
you get in this with the right intentions, it's not hard to do well at this because so many people do it wrong.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that just one more time slowly. So many people do this the wrong way and they're just not available. When you get into it and you put your all in it, you're gonna become a no-brainer for them when they're searching for their housing options. Back on you, Shay.
Again, your
Wow.
best ability is your availability right
They
there.
always tell y'all that.
And that's what we're noticing that people lack in this field is the availability portion of it. That's why we say for our people, the people that we teach, the people that we train, that we consult, if you can afford it, you need a virtual assistant. So that way that phone never goes unanswered unless it's after
That's the
hours,
cheat code to it right there.
unless it is after your business hours, right? And then that's when you partner with Digital Flow Solutions. And then when you miss the call, we have a missed call text back feature. So if the phone call gets missed, you can also have a response that says, sorry, you called after hours. But leave us a brief text message. If this is a cell phone, blah, 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 you create whatever you want. And then boom, they know they have a response. They have some form of communication. So they know that you are actively in business and that you are not a scam. Okay. But long story short, again, Angela's availability was her best ability in this instance,
Yeah.
which fostered a beautiful relationship. I don't know how long they were on the phone for, but they chucked it up about their phone call that must have lasted hours.
Yep.
And she was like, "Oh my God, it was just a breath of fresh air being able to connect with you all." And this is the epitome of an HRA.
Yeah.
It's building those
Exactly.
relationships on both sides. Now she's got to, like, this lady told us what their need is in that area.
Yep.
So guess what? We've got to get houses
She's
in that
begging for
area.
Claremont, Groveland, Eustis, Mount Dora, that whole, and
That
notice
whole
how we're just
area.
divulging this to you all, right? We don't hide this stuff. We
We
want you
need
to be
help.
involved. We need help. We can't house everybody, right? Shay, go ahead.
Oh, I love it. So I'm going to post this because Joanne just posted about her meeting. And her and I had a brief call before she went to this meeting. And I just gave her some
Look
tips
at what she
and tricks
said.
about all that that she can talk about, right? What expectations
Yeah.
to present to the case managers, because you have expectations for their clients. If you're going to house them in your home, you have expectations. Or if you're going to HRA them out to someone else, you have expectations for these clients. And that's when you are an HRA, you are finding out what your housing providers prefer. Hello, somebody. And then you are also sharing that need with those case managers. So that way you're not wasting the housing provider's time.
Yep.
Or you're not wasting the case manager time. They can move on to the next phone call in their
Yeah.
directory. So they know, listen, I'm not going to call Shay because Shay only accepts females right now, but I know that she does have I know that she has helped me in the past with finding housing placement for males. So you
Yeah.
create that demographic of who you serve by informing the case managers of that, and
Yeah.
then they won't waste their time calling you
And
unless they
and
call
that's
for a
exactly
resource.
what Angela did even during
Yeah.
this tour that we did. And that lady right now thinks Angela is a genius. And Shay and I, we also do such a
Listen,
great
that's
job
so
about
good.
like not trying to take the credit. So Shay and
Yeah.
I didn't go in there
No.
like was just posted
We were her
on the screen,
assistants.
right? Running our mouth. Angela presented the whole thing, and when we felt the need to interject or when they asked us questions, of course we talked about it, because why? We are the housing providers.
This was
Angela
Angela's
was the
baby.
liaison.
Yeah.
Remember, I gave you guys that example all the time. It's very childish and it's simple, but it makes sense. The HRA is like the game of monkey in the middle. Hate to say it that way, but the monkey in the middle this day was Miss Angela. On the left was me as the housing provider. On the right was the Valor Lake Hospital that is looking and seeking for housing.
Yeah.
Angela played the liaison between us both to make that company's dream come true and to
Yeah.
make our beds full. That's why the HRA is so powerful. That's why I always tell everybody, even though 97% of people that come to us, they want the ILF Master Blueprint. Most of y'all want to do this in terms of just running it yourself and you getting your own house. I get it. So do I. But the HRA, there'll be nothing that we'll ever create and come out with that's more powerful than this, because this gets rid of the excuses. It gets rid of all
I
of the
love this.
barriers, and it allows you to start now.
And you bridge the gap.
Nikki said it allows you to bridge the gap.
Does Nikki know what I don't have my hoodie
She's
on
new
today.
to Shay. She been preaching our whole sermon and she don't even know it.
Mouth.
Tell
So,
her what the gap
Nikki,
thing means for us.
We have a brand called Gap Fillers, right? And it is all about that. Forming a hedge and bridging in.
What does it stand for, Shay?
God's appointed people.
Bam.
So we are the gap fillers. We are the ones that to make up the hedge and fill in the gap.
We got a whole t-shirt line behind that. We used to say that so much.
Just all up in
Shay, we was on the phone last night, right? Her and her family, right? And having this same call, she literally spoke that video that I was talking about. Hey, do you have real estate and want to do something more meaningful with it versus just doing Airbnb or renting to people? Her and her husband have that same heart. Wow. They're doing Airbnb right now, but they want to be more the solution, as she said, versus the problem, which is homelessness. So again, we always tell people, and watch this, because somebody gonna think me and Shay, pastors and preachers. No, we not. We love God, we love people, and we love real estate. Yeah. And watch this, we live by this. Our whole being, no matter what we do, we want to please God, we want to help people, we want to be respected by our community, and we want to make a bunch of money to build the kingdom of God and also have enough money to feed my family. 110. That's how I want all of y'all's prayer to be. Really slowly, one more time. Because again, we believe that if you please God, everything else is just going to fall into place. But I also want to help people. My mom, who is probably on this call today, will tell you that if you want to see the hand of God move in your life, help people. Help his people. God's people. And this is just my thing right here, right? I want my community to respect y'all while y'all doing it. There is nothing greater for a group of people or your community to get behind what you're doing. Not that you want to be lifted on some pedestal to say, me, look what I'm doing. But all week long, we're showing you guys the power of partnership. But that's a t-shirt. Shay just got over $10,000 worth of free furniture, not because she's so great and because she's so beautiful to me. It's because she's got this program that is taking people from homeless to hopeful and lending a hand when needed most. That's her quote. And she's partnered with somebody, guys. That's how we make all of this happen, because of partnership. And thanks to Angela and the help of God, Angela has appointments probably 4 days into next week, and we're showing up to all of them. We're going to benefit from housing the people, right? And Angela is going to benefit from building the relationships, but Angela is not doing this for free, y'all. She's going to receive a referral fee for every one of these people. And that's the genius part of it. I'm going to land it there, Shay. Back on you.
Listen, that's just a few of the things.
We haven't even went past the first slide today, y'all. Like,
and honestly,
Derek, Shay said it was going to be a great day.
I told you. And what I want us to do is I want to dive into something in regards to people that may be asking the question, well, why not just be a housing provider instead of being an HRA? Well, the HRA for me, Derek, is the beginning stages of becoming an ILF provider.
It's the stepping stones. You're right.
You have to formulate these relationships. You've got to build these relationships, period. Right? And because what people don't realize is, even as you're building out as an ILF provider and you do this correctly and you start answering that phone or making those calls are going to come back into you. You don't have a house yet. What happens?
Yeah.
The more you say, sorry, not ready, sorry, unavailable, sorry, no room, guess where you now become?
Being unreliable.
You literally fall to the bottom of their list, or they just white you out.
Yeah.
Or you're either removed from their list. Never has housing available when we need it. So why we keep calling this individual? The goal is that you do not become that person. Be a resource to these organizations. And that's literally what you're going to be doing. You're going to become that resource that they need, that helps the case manager, the social worker, literally limit the calls that they have to make every day, because they've now found a reliable partner, hence Janine, right? Janine is probably her case manager's best partner ever to partner with. They probably
Janine has no housing yet.
None yet. And Derek, what's powerful is
Got relationship.
because you've always talked about your role and what you had to do in this the time frame and the time crunch
Yeah.
in being able to get these individuals, referred out for discharge.
Yep.
So think about being that case manager that has a caseload of about 15 people that are all needed to be discharged by Monday morning.
And not because they're bad people, guys. Let me
No, it's just
drop a gem. Sometimes the insurance company says, okay, Derek, you got to discharge Jerry Wilson Thursday at 2:00. He can't stay here no longer. Y'all treated him long enough. He got to go.
Gotta go.
Guys, like that's another reason why I'll admit that I had to leave that job. I couldn't stand to see people that we had to discharge just because the insurance said that they're not paying anymore. This guy's not mentally well yet. Why are we discharging him?
Prime example, Derek.
That's a whole nother soapbox. Don't even get me.
Hold on. I want to show something. I want to show a prime example of this that we dealt with yesterday. Derek started getting, was it the night before yesterday? Derek started getting emails. Had no clue what this lady was talking about. It was a case manager. Apparently, somebody's using Second Chance Housing's name. Don't you worry, a cease and desist is coming soon. But anyway, someone's using Second Chance Housing's name. They must have promoted themselves as Second Chance Housing, sent her this random crazy email, and now she's in a time crunch because she's got less than 8 hours left on her shift. Right? She just started her shift and she's got to get this resident of hers in placement by the end of her shift. No questions, like no way to even avoid it. It's got to be done. And literally, she stumbles upon our website because she now goes searching for the real Second Chance Housing, gets us, and she's like, hey, I've been messaging this person. Apparently it is not you, but I need help with this client. I need help, and I need help now. And it truly formulated a new relationship.
Brand new.
But her thing was, and she said it to us yesterday on the phone, Derek. She says, if I don't find placement within the next few hours, I have to discharge him to the street.
Yep.
That was her response.
Yep.
Like, I couldn't make this up even if I wanted to.
And the other side to it is, again, exactly what we're talking about today. I interviewed the guy, and I'll admit, he wasn't a good fit for us. So guess what I did? I HRA'd him somewhere else. Yeah. So essentially, we still housed that guy. We made an impact and we made an income because the person that I referred them to is an IDF operator that is begging for housing and they needed a client. So see how everybody wins? Mm-hmm. I win because I'm going to get a referral fee. The client wins because he's not going to be homeless on the street. And the person that's taking the client, they win because they're going to now collect rent every month.
And now
everybody wins, guys.
But now you've also secured a great relationship with a case
and the relationship with the case manager who emailed me on accident. She's like, Derek, I'll be at your no, she didn't even say Derek. Right, she's like, we'll be at your address at 11 a.m. and I'm driving. Wait, hold it. Who is this?
It was a very
but to make a long story short, somebody that had a name that was similar to ours, they mixed us up. They didn't even answer the phone. I'm gonna call it a blessing because we did.
I know.
And by mistake, there was a brand new relationship that's now created because of that. Okay. Yep. I also love what Joanne said earlier. I'm actually gonna put that back on the screen because I want to talk about that.
Derek, we had such a great call.
Because I don't think I was on that call with you guys before she did this.
It was her and I.
Watch this, and I'm gonna let Shay break it down, right? Because see, Joanne is actually an ILF Mastery Blueprint member, but that still encompasses the HRA. Joanne, as far as I know, unless she switched, right now Joanne houses women. So what happens when Joanne gets a call for a male? She don't just say, sir, I'm sorry, man, we only house women. Click. No, Joanne HRAs those people out. Mm-hmm. But even look what she put into the chat. By the way, Shay, the meeting went well Thursday. I brought coffee and donuts like we train and teach y'all to do. And I was running my mouth like Derek. Because that's what we teach you all. Because once you show up, you the best thing since sliced bread. Now you just run your mouth how great you and your program is. Yeah. And that's exactly what Joanne did. And as you said, they are ready to collaborate. Mm-hmm. Talk about the meeting, Shay, and how that went. And why was Joanne able to call you and go over that before she went to this meeting?
Yeah, so that's something that we definitely make sure that we're available for when it comes to our ILF Mastery Blueprint family members. We are 100% like any product that we sell, we stand behind. But when it comes to when it comes to the ILF family, that is, again, they're attached to our hip. We do these meetings just like this. I want to make sure that Joanne, as an IMB member, is prepared, knows what to say,
Prepared. Yep.
knows what not to say, and knows how to give the narrative of what her expectations are for the case manager. The biggest issue, and I'm gonna kind of go into this, Joanne, a little bit. Joanne's significant struggle with this particular organization was who they were calling her for. They didn't meet our criteria. They didn't meet her criteria. They were very non-medication compliant, and it was just it wasn't a good mix. So the goal was, don't ditch the relationship. Let's now speak to what we need and what our expectations are. Let them, you now need to go in speaking like you know more of this niche, this area of mental health than they do, right? And that's what that call is about. Talk about this, Joanne. Tell them that if this client has this particular issue, the expectation is this. So, and I don't want to go into what those things were because it will take us to go a little deeper into that. But being able to educate Joanne on how to adequately speak and talk to them based on, their clientele now. She knows who they get. So now she knows what to say. Hey, if you're going to send me client Bob that has this issue and has this particular outcome, can you make sure that these particular services are provided to this individual? So it all depends on that the organization you're working with, and that's the conversation we had. I told her how to address those pain points, right?
Yep.
And how to put a demand, but a nice way. Demand what your expectations are. If you want a partner, and we all, just as well as I know that you need help finding housing for these individuals, I'm here to help, but I need your help in order to help you help me and me help you, kind of thing. And that's what that conversation is about. Our ILF Mastery Blueprint members, we have these conversations with you. If you need us to go with you, if you're local to us, or heck, if you want us to fly in to do something, let us know well in advance, and we'll try to make it happen. But the goal is, the goal is that we coach you to say the right thing.
Yep.
Know how to present what it is you're doing, and make sure you don't say certain things that could kind of get you
Yep.
in
And
a
this is
sticky
what one-on-one
situation.
coaching looks like. Notice Shay didn't say one time that she gave Joanne 35 videos and say, Joanne, watch these videos and good
Yeah,
luck,
we had a
Joanne. I
call.
hope you do well.
Yeah, we literally jumped
We're
on
gonna
the
get on the
call.
phone and talk to you one-on-one. And let's talk about where you are, where you going, who are you speaking to, how many people will be in attendance. All of that's important because I need to know how much coffee and donuts to bring. Why would I bring 1 dozen of donuts and just that 1 box of coffee if there's 35 people? Come on, guys. So little stuff like that. But this has been such a great conversation. We hadn't even really got super deep into the HRA other than just the surface. So watch this, right back into it, because all of this still falls into everything that we were saying. And Joanne typed into the bottom that she houses women, but her third facility, because I think she's on 2, her third will be the men. And we'll talk about which is the difference. And if Joanne is available to speak, Shay, I would love for her to come up.
Let me know.
Joanne is also somebody that has a full-time job, but also has several businesses, and she invests into real estate. So how does Joanne do all of this? Joanne's got a virtual assistant just like me.
Yeah.
So the same way that I use Jess to do all of this stuff that we're talking about, Joanne ain't answering her telephone, y'all. Some of y'all thinking Joanne taking these phone calls.
Sometimes.
Some of y'all thinking Joanne is doing the social media. Some of y'all thinking that Joanne is building all of the relationships in the community. Not so. She's doing some of it, but how can she do it all when she's got a job, she's in real estate, and she owns multiple businesses? She's got a virtual assistant that at $5 an hour while Joanne is at work.
Okay, Joanne.
That VA is taking phone calls and placing people. Come on up, Joanne.
Joanne, I'm sending it to your Telegram right now.
I'm gonna send you a link, Miss Joanne. But back to this real quick until Miss Joanne comes up. What is a housing referral agency? Somebody that's just going to act on the behalf of somebody that needs housing. Remember that example of the monkey in the middle. You're the go-to person for an agency or for social workers and case managers that's going to be calling you for housing needs. And you're simply going to be the solution for when it comes to housing. And I love to show people what it looked like, because people are always asking, Derek, what does it look like? Guys, it's a normal house. It could be a 2-bed, 1-bath. It could be a 3-bed, 2-bath. This house, one of my rentals, just happened to be a 6-bed, 3-bath home, right? It can also look like this manufactured home. We want the inside to be beautiful and still maintain the look of something like this. So don't get all caught up on what the outside looks like. Some people just have this bias and thinks that it's got to be in this big, large mansion. Guys, as long as the roof ain't leaking, the AC and the heater works, and the plumbing works, and we're going to make it look nice in the inside. We're not dealing with rats and roaches. We're not going to do that. Because if you see my original webinar, what started all of this, I saw a lady making $41,000 a month doing this. Well, y'all, she was housing people and mistreating them. The house was full of rats and roaches. We're not going to do that. So again, the house can look like this. So it can be bougie. It can be a mobile home. It can be a trailer. The only advice that we give people with the mobile home or trailer, we want is on its own land. So remember, I just showed you guys 3 2s, 4 2s, 3 1s. And again, if you use a virtual assistant, that's, to me, in my opinion, the cheat code to all of this.
Yeah.
And why would you want to be a housing referral agency? Because you desire to house the homeless or the displaced, or you thought you wanted to start a group home. Don't start a group home, first of all. That need a license. You got to jump through fire, and you got to ask permission from your government entity. Consider an independent living facility. You don't have a property, but you desire to help. That's a lot of people here lately. And don't get me on my story of the 2 women that I have in their 70s that do this, and this is all they do. They say, Derek, I don't want a house. Derek, I know you showing pictures of these houses that y'all doing this from. Derek, I don't want this house. I don't want that house. And Derek, I don't want one of those either. But Derek, you're telling me that I can use my cell phone and a virtual assistant? And Derek, you're telling me just go tell hospitals and social workers that I provide housing and then leverage other people that have the housing? Absolutely. That's all Angela did. Angela's got 4 meetings into next week. One of them for us, Shay, I think, is a Zoom, and we go to the other 3. Angela doesn't have the housing, ladies and gentlemen. She don't have the real estate. She has the relationship with us. And then she's finding other people in her area who have the real estate already that is willing to do this. Other people that will want to do this is that you have a desire to start your own program, but maybe you can't rent or lease a place. Maybe you have an ILF like Joanne, but you're full to capacity.
Right.
Maybe you like Joanne and you only house women, but you keep getting these calls from military veteran men. Joanne just don't hang up on these people and say, hey, sir, I'm sorry, we only house women. Have a great day. Click. Joanne don't do that. First of all, Joanne don't even really answer the phone, I don't think. She'll tell us when she comes on. Joanne has a virtual assistant that picks that phone up and says, hello, thank you for calling, da-da-da-da-da-da. How can we help? And we've trained her VA how to do all of the assessments and everything. So I think I saw a question in the chat where someone was asking, man, how do you guys do that assessment? And just really quick, if you don't know what a VA is, that's a remote worker that most likely live in a completely different country, probably. If you want to be affordable, they can do your phone management, email management, social media, and they can also build relationships in the community. When I first brought this out years ago, Radir, it was just me teaching this to people and just me telling y'all to do the social media, go on TikTok, go on Instagram, go to Facebook and post here, post there. Most of y'all ain't even good at social media, just like me. Most of y'all are not techie. Most of y'all got jobs and families and spouses and kids that involved in sports, after school projects, and you don't have time. But God still put it in your heart. Guys, that's where the virtual assistant comes in at, because they're going to do all of this stuff for you. Without Jess, guys, it'd be impossible for me to run Second Chance Housing because I got 7 other businesses to run. But the consulting business, I'll admit, that's the one that takes up all of my time because I love this. I love coaching, teaching, training, and pouring into other people. And again, just really quick, because somebody's gonna say, well, Derek, what do I call myself? You provide housing. You're a housing specialist, you're a housing referral agency, or if you're real smart, one of my rules is turn yourself into a business. So create a name.
That's A1.
I'm not Derek Forston doing this. I'm Second Chance Housing.
Yeah.
Shay is not Shay or Shanye Shay Forston doing this. Who are you, honey?
The Angela Denise Foundation.
And who do you serve?
I said women, women that have gone through domestic violence, human and sex trafficking, elderly women that have just gone through just traumatic disruption in their housing. That's literally it.
That's it.
And we've got Joanne here.
Miss Joanne, good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, you loud and clear. I'm a little bit on my end, but I can hear you loud and clear, Miss Joanne.
Okay, good.
I may have a couple of questions for you, so I'll let you tell me how much time do you have? 5 minutes or 10 minutes?
I'm good. Whatever. I'm
You
off
good?
today. I'm not at
Oh,
work.
that's
let
that's
me
a
find
blessing.
out we got Joanne.
That's a blessing because usually Joanne's in the chat, y'all, that she's working or usually running her ILF. So first of all, let's take it slow. Tell the people
Okay.
who you are and what's the name of your housing program.
Okay. Joanne Moore, Racine, Wisconsin. My ILF is called Forefront Living Solutions. I house women only 30 and up. Um, I take in pretty much the same thing, Shay. People getting released from prison, homelessness, trafficking, just pretty much anything that is suitable for our facility.
Okay, got it. And how long have you been around Forster Consultants and like the teaching and the consulting and the training? Because a lot of
I
people are going to ask Joanne, how long did it take you to get started? So how long have
well,
you been around us?
actually, not long. I just opened mine up in July of 23, and I am working on my second house now. Since I had that meeting Thursday with the homeless shelter.
Good stuff. So July of 23.
Yeah, it
And
wasn't long
Joanne,
at all.
okay. And what was your decision like, Shay, to house women? Why didn't you house men?
Because like I said, I don't have like a significant other. I am just a single woman, so I wasn't sure to take in men yet. I kind of wanted to see how it worked with the women since I am a woman and I can relate. So that worked out. But here now that I just found out, it's more of a demand on men to have these placements. So yeah, so that's what I decided
Okay,
to open
good.
a men's.
So I got another one, and then I'm gonna let Shay hop in because Shay's probably got a couple as well. So you're in Racine, Wisconsin, which means you don't live nowhere near me. You've never
No,
met me before, but you still took on the coaching and you're succeeding. I
very
want
much so.
people, I want people to hear how great your virtual assistant is. Where did you get the VA from? And what role does the VA play in this for you? Because you have a job, you own multiple businesses, and you invest in real estate. Talk about the VA.
Okay. Well, I hired the VA the day when I signed up with you guys in June. Um, he does all. I mean, well, I work a 9 to 5, so I'm working every day, Monday through Friday. So he's actually doing all my social media content. He's taking all my phone calls. He's doing all the assessments. Like I literally don't do anything but just show up at the house.
Wow.
If there's meeting, if there's showings or like the meetings that I need to do with the organizations. But he does all the phones, all the phone calls. I hardly do any of that.
Wow. So can you give the latest example of maybe where your virtual assistant either did a placement or handled something for you while you were at work and you were not available, but the VA kind of handled everything? Give me an example of like the latest thing that happened.
Well, he actually contacted the organization. He set up the appointment. He just kind of just set up the appointment, set up the time, and he just basically say, hey, Joanne, they're okay with the time and the day, and you're all good. I didn't have to do anything, and that was just
Wow.
last week.
Wow. See, I'm glad you said that, Mr. Joanne, because often, especially on Tuesdays nights, I'm often seeing this phrase that says the virtual assistants allow Shay and I to be the hero in our community.
Yeah, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we haven't talked about it yet. I'm gonna let Shay chime in because I was supposed to be done already. Shay has a nonprofit, right? Shay hasn't really written any grants for her own nonprofit, but the virtual assistant does. The virtual assistant is setting up all of these appointments, which makes Shay look like the dadgum hero.
Yeah.
That's the part that I love. And guys, one more time, really slowly, I'm gonna repeat what Joanne is and what she just said. Guys, Joanne has a job, she's involved in real estate, and she owns multiple businesses. Guys, she's busy. So without a virtual assistant that can be the hands and feet of Miss Joanne, guys, how can she do all of this stuff? I'll never forget the first day when she said, Derek, I'm at work and my VA just placed somebody in my ILF. And guys, don't get it twisted. Joanne's VA lives in the Philippines.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Guys, they're what is it, Shay, 12, 13 hours ahead of us.
Yeah, 12.
So most of y'all, where you guys are at right now, it's around 11 a.m., 12 a.m., maybe 10 a.m., and the day is Saturday.
Yeah.
Where our staff lives at, guys, it's already Sunday. like
No,
that
it's what time is it?
right? Or am I wrong about
No,
that?
it's still nighttime over there. It's
So Shay,
11 p.m. So it's 11
got
p.m.
it. So it's 11:02 p.m.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
almost a.m. for them.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying, that this virtual assistant that Joanne pays $5 an hour, 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, is allowing Joanne to be successful and allowing Joanne, because, we joke and we play a lot, but I want to be serious for 2 seconds. This VA is allowing Joanne to do the will of God. Period. Because the Bible says, not Derek, the Bible says the poor and needy will always be among us. And it says Joanne is to take care of the poor, the needy, and the widow. Some of y'all gonna house people. Some of y'all gonna clothe people or feed people. Joanne has chose to house them. Joanne, chime back in and talk about this, right? Joanne, when did you notice that this was a ministry and not just a job or some real estate play?
Or a business. Just.
And then I'm done. I'm gonna give it to Shay because I'm supposed to be letting Shay ask questions.
Well, like again, I like helping people. Like that's in me to like help people. So this is something that I kind of always wanted to do, in life, is just to help people. So when I was able to get people out off the street and, give them somewhere to stay, it was just like a relief of like sigh, because it felt good to me to know that I'm helping somebody, God's people.
Right.
So, yeah, it was always in me, Derek, just to help people. And this is kind of was something that was, to make that for me to, help somebody.
Okay. Miss Shay?
I love it.
Because I got another one, but I got to let Shay go.
No, you better go, Derek. Go, Derek.
I better go, Joanne.
Yeah,
where you forget.
So Joanne, you've always loved real estate before you found us.
Right.
So let us not take credit for you being involved in real estate. So kind of the same question, but I always call it genius. Joanne, what was your thoughts the day that you discovered us and we already took something you was doing, which was real estate, but we combined it with social services and involving God in it and turning it into a ministry? What was your thoughts that day?
Oh man, I was so like happy because, like you said, I am in real estate. I've been doing renting my properties out just to families, and it was getting kind of hectic because, I really didn't have a sense of control like I do now with the ILF, and it was just working with certain families that they just didn't want to pay rent, and it was just kind of something that I was wanting to get out of. And then when I met you guys and you guys were talking about this, I was like, this is it. I'm still a landlord. I'm still in the housing. I still can rent. I'm still doing the same thing, but on a different level, in which I prefer this level.
I love
that.
Yeah.
I love that. Shay, now it's your turn, Shay. Because we never
Come
get
on
Joanne
here, Shay.
live.
Come
we
on
never
here,
get
Shay.
Joanne live unless it's on the call, right?
Right.
Let me find out Joanne's in the
I
building.
had to take advantage of that, Joanne.
Right. I love it, y'all. I love it.
So my question for you would be this, Joanne. If you can tell someone about an experience that you've had with one of your residents that has really just imprinted on your heart, what would it be?
You said one of my residents that imprinted something on my heart.
Mm.
Um, okay, I do have one client that she came from prison. She's been in prison for like, oh my God, y'all, like 15 years. You couldn't even tell. I put her as the manager of the house because she she tells everything if something's go wrong. She makes sure I have, enough garbage bags if needed, cleaning supplies. She's like the go-to. She keeps the house totally clean. I I could live in there. It looks
Wow.
that nice. I could live in. She really, kind of put an impact on the other women too, to kind of keep up what she's, trying to keep the house clean and keep everything, going smoothly. So she really kind of, I really kind of that kind of touched my heart. That's saying that I must be doing something right,
Mm-hmm.
for her to be that kind to the facility.
That's it. And this is something that I wanted you to share because I think a lot of times people get the misconception of, mental health looks and presents in so many different ways, right? And a lot of people will you kind of um be prejudiced against the mental health population, but most people don't even realize that there's people that they work with, that they walk alongside with, that have a mental health, previous history or a diagnosis. They're just medication compliant and they're able to live and do well. um I know someone that I worked very close with was actually my superior, that had a mental health background and did amazing at what they did. And you couldn't tell the difference, right? But for the most part, I want people to understand that no matter what population, whether it's the person coming out of jail, whether it's the person that is homeless, chronic homelessness that is now converting into being housed, or that person that was, kind of shunned out of society because of that mental health illness, that they do have an opportunity, like they will make a mark in your life, and a positive one, because you'll get to see their story unfold. And by you providing a safe, clean, affordable living environment, somewhere that they feel comfortable and secure, you will get to see them thrive and really turn into their fullest them, right? And that's why I wanted you to share that. I always ask Derek of a client that has done something similar for him, and he'll tell you all the story of Mr. Arthur, and now it's this new gentleman, and just it's a lot of things that people don't understand about the
Yeah.
demographic that we serve. So I always like to ask that question so that people can get out of the headspace of the person that's walking down the street yelling, screaming, doing stuff that is really off, but knowing that this population that we do serve, hence that conversation we had before you went to that meeting, is put a demand on what population you serve, so that people know who they can send to you. So that's
Absolutely.
why I
Yeah,
wanted
I
that.
agree. Yeah, and don't underestimate, you see the people laying out on the street or whatever. Don't look at that as a bad thing,
That's true
because
too.
them people got income. They have literally like income, and they're humans, you treat them with respect just as well as, you want to be. So
Absolutely.
when I look, when the lady said she did 15 years, I didn't care about that. I said, hey,
Right.
you're here today, start new today, and move
Mhm.
on with life. So, I just
Yeah.
try to give them some encouraging words because, they already think people judging them or whatnot. But I try to keep that positive,
Yeah.
attitude with them. So, yeah, it's
Got it.
working out really good.
I got
That's
a
good.
question I want to ask Joanne. I'm trying to see if I want to ask the question first or take a commercial break, but I think I
Ask
want to
the
pose the
question. Ask the
question
question.
so that way Joanne can think about it, if even if we do that. Joanne, you mentioned something earlier that may make you vulnerable or not, not sure, but I'm glad you said it because somebody's going to ask it and somebody's already thinking it. Joanne, you mentioned earlier that you're a single lady, right? You don't have a boyfriend or a boo that kind of hangs around. I want to talk about the safety of this and also the coaching. Joanne, if you remember, one of the first things I told you, as you now being my family, and you being a coaching client of ours and you being a female, my first priority was to keep you safe. So I want you to talk about that a little bit in terms of the coaching and how are you keeping safe? Because you did just say you're a single lady. There's somebody watching this, Joanne, or somebody that's going to watch the replay and say, man, you know what? I'm a single lady. Will I be safe doing this? Talk about the safety, what kind of people we're dealing with, but also talk about the coaching and the way that I view this as I'm coaching you as a lady.
Oh, Derek, I don't remember what we talked about as far, but I just know that you were telling me to like maybe start off with the renting like the rooms instead of like putting so many women in because of, the fact that I am going in and out by myself. But sometimes like I do have a maintenance guy that I kind of have him come in if I need him. Um, but I do have cameras all in the house. So far, Derek, it's been pretty good as far as safety. Um, I really never had any issues about that. Someone wanted to jump on me or nothing like that.
Right.
So you talked to me a lot about it. I just can't remember what we talked about, but it was
We talk so
very,
much, right?
yeah, but it was very encouraging. And I did
Yeah.
kind of do what you told me to do. So it did work out.
Yeah. And where I'm
But
also leaning towards, Miss Joe, is when we talked about that day, because you didn't tell the people something. And I hope I can say it because we've talked about it before.
yeah, I don't
But your
care.
house is paid off. You don't have an
Yeah,
overhead like a lot of us do. So, guys, I took the information that I know about my client, Joanne, and that she's a single female. I said, Joanne, if you don't have the high overhead like us, you don't need to ram that place full with 9 or 10 people.
right,
You need to
right.
do maybe just by the room and call them all private suites. That way we
Hmm.
keep you safe and we keep your problems down to a minimum. Because
Yeah,
most of us that get into this, y'all, we got a high mortgage or a high rental or a high lease
That overhead.
number overhead, right? So meaning a lot of money that you have to pay. When you own the property like Joanne does and there's no mortgage, guys, like I'm going to do your coaching a little bit different. So if you got a 4-bed, 2-bath home, normally I would have you house 8 people. But when Joanne told me, Derek, you know what? I'm single and there is no boyfriend, there is no boo. I ain't got no big brother that comes by here. As I said, perfect. Thank you for telling me that because we're going to keep you safe. I said, Joanne, I'll be honest. I don't want you housing 8 people. If you allow me to be your big brother and your coach in terms of what you paid me for, Joanne, I don't want you housing that many people.
Yeah.
I don't want this thing to turn into a circus. I want it to be manageable because, Joanne, unlike us, you don't have a large overhead. You have no mortgage. You have no large rental fee above your head like we do. So, Joanne, let's do it by the room. And now instead of it calling like the shared living in terms of your rooms, these are now private suites.
Yeah.
So, Joanne, instead of charging maybe that $550 that you was going to charge, now we're charging $750. And now you have no reason for your clients to be fighting each other because everybody in their own room. Let's go, Joanne.
yes, and they love it. I'm so glad I did that, Derek,
Yep.
because and two, women, we don't like to share nothing, anyway. So that all
Like that.
super worked out. I promise you it did. I'm glad I did it single, but for the men's, I'm going to do the 2. I'm gonna put them in 2.
And you'll see that you'll get more compliance that way too.
Yeah.
Men are a little bit more flexible. And I
Hmm.
tell everybody all the time, like men are way flexible when it comes to shared living than women are.
Yo.
That's why I try my
And a lot of times the
hardest.
respect level is higher with the men versus the women when you're a woman, right?
Oh,
So and it's
really?
different.
Oh,
Oh
really?
yeah, yeah.
Joanne, listen. So men are upset. Like it's harder for them to break the heart of a woman than it will be for them to bow up and get angry with Derek.
Yeah.
So prime example, when we're visiting our man's house, like prime example, yesterday, one of the Derek must have saw cigarette butts in a room, and he was like, "Man, are you smoking in your room?" And he was like, "Just sometimes." And Derek was like, "No, that
I
is a
said,
no." Miss Shay is out in the car, like y'all just be happy that I came in and saw this and not
exactly.
her. And he was like, "Oh my God, I am so sorry. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry." But for the most part, you become more motherly to the men, and they respect us so much more.
Yeah, the
Like if
men
there's a
expect the
problem
women
in the
more.
house, I go and I deal with the problem at the men's house, and I'll kind of be like, all right, Derek, I'm gonna address this issue at my women's house once. If it reoccurs, I'm gonna have you go in and address it now. It's usually that opposite. Very it, and we see it all the time. Like prime example, we went the other day. We have one of our clients who's a military veteran, just bad spending habits, right? He's having some issues with spending, and the minute he saw me jump out of the truck, you just saw his whole body language, his posture just deflated.
Yeah. He been dealing with me all week, but as
Because
soon as
he
he saw
knows
Shay,
now, like
yeah,
and he's a big joker, right?
yeah,
My little
big guy.
5 foot self, 5'4", 100 and what, 35, 40 pounds. He just deflated. He's like, hey, Miss Shay, I need to talk to y'all. Man, I don't know what to do. I'm gonna just move out. I'm gonna just go because I keep disappointing y'all. And I said, well, what happened? Talk to me. What's going on? And he's like, well, I just need help. My spending habits, blah, blah, blah. So, we're talking, but he was so defeated. Now, if it was just
Yeah,
Derek, I'm gonna tell you, completely different story.
yeah,
He'd be like, man, Derek, man, look, hey, I ain't got it. But the whole
yeah.
difference in posture, it was a completely different posture change. When he saw me jump out of the passenger seat of the truck, he was like,
That head
oh,
slumped down and them
Oh
shoulders getting low,
God.
they
Joanne.
get
Okay, so
real low.
So
I know
yeah,
how to work it now, Shay.
yeah.
Thanks for that. But you know
Yep.
what? I got a question that they asked me in the meeting. They were saying that what do I think about having like a person that pays less rent that be kind of the manager? I don't what do you guys think about that? Because I don't they're not gonna be there
So
24 hours.
my response for that is technically this. I mean, physically, there is oversight at the house, um, due to the fact that you don't leave your houses unattended. For one, what are they expecting a house manager to do? That's why you've got, you know what I'm saying. That's why you've got
But
cameras for
also,
and all of that. Go ahead, Derek.
but also, I'm gonna give everybody some what I would call the ILF Mastery Blueprint coaching, and you
Mhm.
guys get it live because normally this is not something I would just divulge, but
Right.
because Joanne asked it, you guys get gifted with it. So
Thanks.
Joanne, our coaching teaches you that we don't have a house manager.
We don't.
But inside of your brain, inside of your mind, every house you have, somebody's going to be most responsible, most nosy, and a tattletale. I think you said you have one.
Yeah.
Yep, I
That's your
do.
house manager. We
Wink,
just
wink,
don't
not
call
nod.
him that.
And that person
And
don't
neither
know
do
it.
we discount his rent. Now, I can go further on a personal call, but just so that everybody understands it and can get a piece of this IMB coaching, every house I have, Joanne, has a house manager, but I don't call him that. And neither do I discount his rent. But it's always going to be your most responsible guy that you have. It's going to be the most responsible lady that you have. And you just lean on them and leverage them the way I'm
Right.
teaching these people to leverage HRA people. So I'm going to always, prime example, my newest guy at the house Shay just told you about, he's now in my mind the house manager because everybody else there is a little lower functioning when it comes to their mental. He's super high functioning and he's got a job.
Mhm.
And then my other
Okay.
guy he's the same, but without a job. They're both kind of house managers,
Yeah.
but I don't discount the rent and neither do I call them that. So when you have a case manager that asks you say, sir, in fact, we do. His name is, but we don't call him the house manager because if you do, they're going to want a discount or packs of cigarettes or you to buy them lunch every week.
Or
And
they
we
may
don't do
thought
that.
bullying, that authority gets a little special.
Yeah, that
Right,
authority gets
right.
a
That
little out of
that
hand
that
because
yep.
everybody, Otis used to always say this, everybody can't handle authority. So when you make Tyrone the house manager, oh, he think he can boss everybody around and that he can bring his girlfriend over and that he can bring and smoke his drugs in the house, but nobody else can. So we don't do that,
And I
Joanne.
dare
I
you to tell
tried it,
them.
been there, done it.
Hey,
So
Joanne.
Okay,
nobody's a
because I
house
try.
manager at my place.
Hey, Joanne, I
Yeah,
dare
because
you to
I
tell
thought
on
about
me.
that. Right. I thought about that and I'm like, wait a minute, like he ain't gonna be here 24 hours to like watch
Mm.
and they probably
Yeah,
can't wait till he leave and cut up. So I'm
yeah,
like, no, I don't
yeah.
I said I'm
Your
gonna talk
house
to you guys
manager will
about
be
it
the
and
guy
see
that
what you guys
lives
think.
there.
So
Yeah.
Yep,
And
yep.
and again, this is
okay, got
why
it.
it's independent living. And this is the main purpose for us to reiterate, even going back on the independent living side, right? This is independent living. I don't have a house manager and I live independently. Well, with my husband. You get what I'm saying? So, and it's
I guess I'm the
that
house
piece.
manager.
You the house
I'm the
manager.
tattletale in my
No, hey
house.
Derek, what is it? You're the team leader. Hello,
Yes.
team leader. But no, yeah. So, and again, that's that thing you want to reiterate as well. The goal is to get, that you're sending a suitable enough residence that they can live and thrive without the need for supervision. That is the purpose of what we do.
Yep.
Without the need for supervision. So what
That's
am I
the
putting
whole
a house
definition.
why am I putting a house manager there? Wink, wink, nod, nod, right? So again, like
Right.
what you don't want is to call what you don't want to do is implement something for that specific organization, and then what they consider independent is far off from independent.
Yeah.
And now they're leaning on your house manager. Well, now you've got a house manager, Joanne. Let them deal with it. No.
And then Joanne,
You're
off of
right.
this
So that's
call on one of your personal calls, and that could be anytime because you're an IMB member, we will give you a version of what this does look like, but it's still not kind of how you presented it, because Shay is actually doing it right now with her new house. But I don't want to divulge it on this live because somebody going to misconstrue it and screw it up and mess it up. So we going to give it to you on the private call, but Shay is implementing something very similar to what you just said, but they're not, quote unquote, the house manager really.
I'm gonna just say this.
Right?
I'm
So
gonna give a
we'll
little
do
peek
that.
into that. So prime example.
okay.
I'm looking for someone that is completely, I know the qualities of this individual. They'll be, there and they will have that title. The reason why I'm telling my ladies that there is a house manager on site, because this is now my property. I own it. Right? This is Shay's and Derek's bread and butter and hard work, sweat, tears. There's a lot of history in this home. And there's going to be a shift. There's going to be a dynamic shift when they move to this house. I.e. the rules are going to look a little different. I'm checking for cleanliness. My ladies are pretty clean, but there's going to be different things implemented. And this particular person that will be there as the house manager will also be responsible for making sure that I know when everything or anything breaks. I don't need to know 6 weeks down the line after the toilet stopped working. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's keeping those things to me. So when I look at a house manager is literally doing that, making sure that the maintenance of the house is taken care of. They will have access to the cameras.
Yeah.
Some of the cameras, they will have access to the things that I put in place for, for maintenance issues. They will be the ones that I lean on to make sure that that stuff is done on a regular basis. So literally, that's what a house manager will look like for the Angela Denise Foundation.
And as I said, Joanne, we'll talk to you more about that in depth, because I don't want nobody to kind of misconstrue what we're saying, because the coaching, I'm going to tell you, no, there is no house manager. Correct. But because you are in it, you're doing it, there's a different way that we can present that to you. Now, Joanne, if you still got time, there's people that have been waiting to hear from you. So
yes,
you can see that screen, Joanne. Can you see the screen?
Shanita Dobson
says,
said,
hey,
yes,
hey,
Joanne.
So she's got a question for you right here, Joanne.
Come on here, Shanita.
So read the question, Joanne, and it's on you. This Joanne's podcast now, y'all.
Oh, God. Okay, are you
Joanne?
What do you mean renting the properties? Meaning, oh no. I own the properties, Shanita. I used to rent them to families, but now I just, use them for the ILF right now. And I'm just renting out the rooms.
Love it.
And what she's really asking, just to make sure everybody understands it, Shanita hears me every week talk about renting or leasing these properties to get started. Mm-hmm. Joanne is a little bougier, y'all. Joanne don't rent.
Bougie.
Joanne
don't
buy.
Like
Stop there.
Joanne
Stop
buy,
it.
ladies and gentlemen.
That is
because that's the goal for everybody. Joanne is the goal, ladies and gentlemen. So not being funny, seriously. Joanne is the goal. Tiffany Walker is the goal. These are people that we've taught from day one, Miss Dobson. They never rented a place. Now, God has got all of us set up a little bit different.
Yeah.
Shanita, my saying is this, and that's why everybody should feel good being around us, because I started from the bottom. Nobody probably didn't make a little less than me. I was making 28 grand a year. trying to get into this, and we rented, we leased, and we leased.
At one point, we had 12 rentals.
And then one day, Shay.
But no. Hold on. Let me tell you what woke us up. You ready
So
for this?
Joanne is the goal, guys.
I'm going to tell Joanne, you know what woke us up? We had a financial meeting with our accountant.
Oh, wow.
And we saw the bottom line of how much we were paying in those 14 rentals a year. We paid enough.
6 figures.
We paid enough to buy a property.
He was like, what are we doing?
We paid enough to buy a property.
And Shay, you don't realize it when you're doing it so fast and you're just paying that rent every month. But because you have an accountant, my IMB members, that I give y'all my accountant, if you're an ILF Master Blueprint member, your P&Ls, guys, I didn't know what a P&L was just here years ago. But when you have that stuff in place, it's like, ooh, Shay said, babe, do you see that we bought a house this year?
Literally.
By paying for these rentals.
We bought a whole house.
Guys, we bought a house and never bought it, if that makes sense.
And not a piece of house neither, Joanne. Joanne, we bought one of them.
I saw that.
7-bedroom. Man. We bought a 7-bedroom.
No, she's talking about money-wise, Joe.
That's how much we spent on rent in 1 year.
When when Lynette gave us our P&L and it added up all the money that we paid for the rentals for the year, it was 6 figures. That meaning that we could have bought a house.
Literally.
That's what rent is so high. Rent is so high everywhere.
Joe, listen,
but just go ahead.
No, go ahead, Joanne.
No, because Derek is talking about I'm bougie. Okay, so right now where I live now, I own the house. So that instead of I have to rent now, so I will be renting a place for probably about a couple of months just to get the house that I live in ILF for the men. So yeah, rent is high, y'all. Y'all didn't tell me that.
Yeah, rent can be high depending on where you're at, and that's why we also tell people that the math has to math. It's got to make sense.
Sure that math is mathing, Joanne.
If not, you'll be running a homeless shelter.
Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to get my numbers together now to see, like, because I don't want to be renting so long. I just want to go buy. Yeah. If I want to live in the house. So, but for temporary, I'll just go ahead and rent.
Yeah.
And
I also
while I'm
don't
setting
mind
up
renting
the men's
still.
ILF.
So I agree with Joanne. Yeah.
Hold on. I want to make sure nobody missed this. Okay. Wait. So Joanne, you said you are moving out of the house you live in and you own to get it prepped and ready for an ILF, and you will go and rent until you can find the house that you want to purchase. I just wanted to make sure.
That's it.
Sacrifice, and that's called doing what you got to do to make the dream come true.
Listen,
that's called being flexible.
Derek, can't nobody tell me.
And I'm single.
But this is
I have no significant other.
But Joanne, this is the thing of mindset, right? And I think people need to realize that if you really want something, you'll do whatever it takes to get it and to bring it to fruition. To hear you say that, even though like you are an investor, that is what you do. We know this. But I'm gonna be honest, like that's above me.
We get a lot of people that ask that, so that's big.
Miss Joanne, I'm telling you, wow.
Yep,
that big. Just excited me. So I hope people heard that. So incline your ear.
Because also, Shay, what I heard in that is this theme is bigger than Joanne.
Yes.
I'm gonna say it again, just really slowly. This is bigger than Joanne, y'all, and that's what Joanne saw. And that's why God gonna bless her and her ministry, because she's putting the people before her.
She said, I'll move out of my
That's how this works, y'all.
I'm gonna move out of my fixed abode. I'm gonna prep it and get it ready for ILF.
For other people.
Because these people
and I'm gonna move out and go rent something.
Man, you better stop.
What a mentality, ladies and gentlemen.
That's
so
why I'm like, man.
I'm glad Joanne got a chance, and Joanne's not done. I'm just finna say this. I'm glad Joanne got a chance to join us, because not only are you guys getting a little bit of cheat code into Mondays, we're supposed to be talking about how to HRA today. But I think God had a different plan. No. And a lot of people want to hear, because Joanne, we're always talking about you.
And everybody.
So you seem like this Fathom ghost until you show up. So other than your picture not being here, I appreciate this, because again, I think that this is going to help a lot of people. But what we'll do, we'll take a quick commercial break. We'll pay some bills. We'll come back, and we're not going to change it. I'm going to still throw in some of this HRA stuff, but I think we need to stay on the realm of kind of where we're at. We'll be right back, guys. Hey, what's going on, family? I hope you guys are enjoying the content. But just in case if you arrived just a little bit after we started, we're literally discussing the HRA, which stands for Housing Referral Agency. There's a lot of people that want to get into what we do when it comes to housing the homeless, but they're not ready to buy a property or rent or lease one just yet. But with the HRA, it's going to allow you guys to still house the homeless, make an impact in your community, and make an income, and you don't need the property. The HRA is all about relationship. So literally, guys, prime example, even me, I have 5 beds available in Kissimmee, and I have 4 beds available in Orlando right now. You guys can begin to referring clients to me immediately, literally after learning this information. Let's get back to the show. All right, so let's do it, because I want to actually bring Shay and Joanne back up for something that I kind of went across the screen with earlier, because I actually want Joanne to take on this same thing, right? So I put some pictures up earlier, and I want Shay to talk about it, and I want to get Joanne's thoughts on what Shay did and what she think to implement something like this. But back over to the HRA just really quick, because people always ask, well, Derek, what do I need to get started? First of all, I tell you guys to start any business, remove yourself. So I never wanted to be known as Derek Forrest, some black bald guy that was renting rooms to people. Watch this. I wanted to be respected as a program that was called Second Chance Housing, that was changing lives in the community through shared housing. See the difference in those two? Some black bald guy renting rooms versus a program by the name of, interject your program name, and you're changing lives in the community through independent living. So remove yourself, create a business, get an LLC, nonprofit, that's up to you. The LLC is probably quicker, and I'm not going to get into that, right? And we'll talk about that on a different day, but Shay is a nonprofit.
Sure am.
I'm different. But the goal is to start an entity. Do not do this in your name. Even if you're going to be a housing referral agency, Shay told y'all 26 minutes ago that this is the stepping stones to what you're trying to be anyway. So the training of learning how to build the relationships, knowing what to say to case managers and social workers, doing assessments. Guys, you learn all of this with inside of the Business in a Box, which we give you with the HRA. Everybody needs a logo. And then if you're real smart, you get most of this stuff from Digital Flow Solutions. That's our digital marketing company, to where you guys can take your business from kind of being a nobody that nobody knows to becoming having an internet presence. So we use digitalflowsolutions.net for all of our businesses. Then I own 8 different businesses, and every one of them, the backbone and the foundation is digitalflowsolutions.net. I encourage everybody to go there, because it's an all-in-one website and CRM system together. All of your social media, everything in one place. So it's an all-in-one platform to run any business, whether you bake chocolate chip cookies and set it out your van, or whether you're a consultant, or whether you fry chicken and sell it at your grandmother's house. Doesn't matter. Whatever business that you have, you should consider Digital Flow Solutions. And if you're real smart, you'll combine a virtual assistant with it that can do all of this stuff while you at your 9-to-5 job. Because most of y'all are like Joanne. Yeah. You got a 9-to-5 job, and you got other things that you're involved in. Some of y'all involved with your kids, after school curricular activities. Some of y'all involved in your community, your church. So again, you need a phone system. Digital Flow Solutions can help you with that. You need a text messaging app. Digital Flow Solutions can help you with that. And we also use Telegram. WhatsApp is an option, but we use Telegram to communicate with our VAs. Then we teach and beg you to promote this on social media. How do you think people know about Joanne? Joanne's not doing a bunch of posting, I can assure you this. Her VA
definitely no.
Exactly. 5 days a week for sure. And on the weekends, they're planning her social media. Yeah. So Joanne, just real quick, Joanne, are you doing any of your social media?
No way. No way.
Do you post on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok?
None of it. My VA does.
Did you create your own LinkedIn or Twitter page?
No, I did not.
Exactly. Joanne is just like me, y'all. Joanne is not very techy, because I can barely turn this computer on. Now, Shay is the opposite of what me and Joanne is. Joanne can't do no social media. She can't set up no Facebook page, and neither can y'all.
You ain't gonna talk about my friend Joanne like that.
Listen, come
Can
on here.
three of y'all raise y'all hand? Watch this though. Can three of y'all say me in the chat if you're just like me and Joanne, that you're not techie, you can't build your own Facebook page, but with the virtual assistant, Joanne looked like a dadgum genius. Social media's bursting out the seams every day. But Joanne is being the hero in the community and she get all the credit. But I'll admit, guys, her VA is the superstar. Joanne provides the real estate. Joanne provides the environment. Joanne provides all the bedding, the dressers. Joanne keeps on the lights, the water, and the gas.
Sure thing.
But the virtual assistant creates the presence of who Joanne is. And how powerful is that that can be done from another country? Joanne lives 13 hours. Her staff is 13 hours ahead of her. Joanne's VA is from the Philippines, guys.
Yeah.
So again, don't get it twisted. Joanne gave a lot of y'all reasons to throw your excuse in the trash.
Who you telling?
She's a woman. She's a single woman, and not trying to be funny, she's a black woman. No husband, no boyfriend, and no big brother that lives in her area. Joanne does this on her own with the coaching from us. So I'm Joanne's big brother, but I live far from Joanne, and we haven't met yet face to face. Now, one day, Joanne coming to Florida, and one day, Shay and I going to Racine, Wisconsin, because I want to see Joanne's stuff. Mm-hmm. But can you imagine getting coaching and teaching from somebody by phone, by Zoom, and have the ability? Because Joanne can call me 5 days a week, 7 days a week, any time of the day, because she's family now. So once you get the coaching, there is no waiting till Monday, waiting till Saturday at 10 to get the gems from Shay and Derek. You just pick the phone up and call me. Hey, Derek, I got a meeting on Tuesday. I'm meeting with 13 case managers. Derek, what in the world do I say to these people? Joanne, run your big mouth just like me.
Yes, and that's what's so good, like for people that's potentially want to do an ILF, you guys are always available. That's the main thing. Every time I need something or a rush of something, you guys are always available and ready to, discuss or talk with me anytime. I mean,
and that even means
talk.
With her staff. Don't forget, guys, her VA, her staff came from us. Yeah. Joanne, are you allowed to call us if you're having problems with your staff or your VA?
Absolutely. And I get answers right away, y'all. It's amazing.
Joanne, do you ever hang up the phone still scratching your head about what's the next steps?
No, absolutely not. You guys give me like other options. You give me options. You give me, pointers, whatnot, or things to say. I mean, like, because I'm not really good at, communicating, but now I am, Derek. So that's what I like about.
When you know what you're talking about, because you've been around us so long now, Joanne, you begin to sound like me.
Yeah, yep, absolutely. I'm like in there, like, am I talking or is this Derek? Okay, so yeah,
that regurgitation of the information just over and over.
Yep. Right. So people that's looking into do this, y'all. I mean, it's real. I mean, the help is there. They walk you through it all. They make you very successful. So I appreciate that. And jump on board.
Right before I throw it over to Shay and Joanne again, because I'm about to give them their own segment, because I want Shay to break down why is she doing this thing and where did the idea come from. But just again, I want to give value. Derek, what groups should I join or where should I post that I house people, but I don't have a house, Mr. Derek? You're going to post it on Facebook groups, connect with social workers and case managers. But guys, if you go to Facebook, you can type in like the area that has the groups. Type in words like homelessness, social workers and case managers. Type in words like rooms for rent. These are all people that you should be building connections with. Remember, the HRA is for people that want to do this, but you don't have a house. You need to find people and build relationships through Facebook groups. Guys, I'm giving y'all the whole game today. And again, if you like me and Joanne and you don't have time to do this, Joanne, virtual assistant, does this. Can you imagine your VA joining 10 Facebook groups a day? So by Monday through Friday, you're in 50 different groups that you can go in and post who you are and what you do, and that you fill empty beds. Guys, this is a big game changer with those Facebook groups. Next question, Derek, who will I serve? Derek, where will I serve? You can choose to be a local resource, or you can do this in all 50 states. Completely up to you. So again, my VA Jess, we do this wherever the need is. So I don't care if it's in Florida, Georgia, Idaho, Wisconsin, California, Boston, New York, New Jersey, Montana. Doesn't matter to us. Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas. You know the song? Doesn't matter. Because again, when I got a VA that lives in a different country that's got an internet connection, we can work in all 50 states, ladies and gentlemen. So when you decide where to serve, if you real smart, you serve wherever the need exists already. So right now, if you're from Houston, why wouldn't you help Joanne fill her beds? Why wouldn't you come and resource to Shay, who's got 8 beds available today? Why wouldn't you get with me, who got bed? Because the video I played earlier, those numbers have changed
Completely.
I still have beds available, but I only have like 2 in Kissimmee, 1 in Orlando.
Yeah.
You can research right now in Orlando. Social workers and case managers in hospitals. And don't forget, we sell this thing called the HRA Business in a Box, where we give you all of this information, all of the teaching. We give you a free virtual assistant, the SOPs, the how-to, the video, and the course, and a VIP community for only $997 to do all of this.
Man, that's a steal.
It's a no-brainer, Joanne. That's what I like to call it. Like, this is one of those things that you shouldn't have to think about. Because, Joanne, this is for the person that is like you, Joanne, that has a job.
Yep.
Now, let me get off of this for 2 seconds because I want to move on to this other thing. This is where we talk about some of the lives that we've changed once you're in this. Now, I'm going to jump off the HRA for 2 seconds, and I'm going to bless y'all because we've been kind of intertwining the ILF and the HRA. Once you do get into this, these are some of the things that you're able to do, right? I'm going to just go across mine real fast because I want to get to this thing that Shay does annually, and I want to know what Joanne's thoughts is on it. Just real quick. Joanne, remember that question you had earlier about a house manager? Both of these guys in different houses of mine were both house managers at one point. There was no discount on rent. There was no, hey, you can break the rules. Just keep everybody else in line. None of that stuff. Hey, bro, keep it tight here. Call me if anything happened. If anybody start using drugs and get off the chain, give me a call. Now, today, they would call Jess. But before there was this lady, Jess, that phone call came to me. Moving on. This is one of the stories that we talk about all the time, and I'll spend 30 minutes on this probably Monday. This is Mr. Arthur. We got a call for this guy. Greatest guy ever, man. At one point in his life, made over $200,000 a year as an engineer. That was his 9-to-5 job. But like what can happen to all of us at any time in life? Sickness, wife passed away, lost a job, now homeless. Sleeping on the bench parks, sleeping at Disney World. Now you got to go to jail because you can't sleep at Disney. In and out of jail. But luckily for him, the last police officer that took him to jail said, man, you seem like a real good guy, bro. You look like you don't break no rules or you ain't no troublemaker. You want some help instead of just keep going to the jail. He said, man, will you? That's what I really want. Lucky for this guy and blessed of him and blessed for me, they took this guy to a hospital. Social worker is at the hospital. Case management got involved. And they called me and said, Derek, this is before Jess. Derek, got a great guy. 73 years old, Derek, sleeping on the park bench. Derek, this guy has no money, no income, but Derek, he's met criteria through our hospital, and Derek, we're going to pay for it. Derek, we're going to pay you up to 6 months for to house this guy until we get his SSI or SSDI straightened out. This is a picture now in his own apartment.
Come on.
Lord have mercy.
Wow, that's so awesome.
Joanne, he is in his own place. Joanne, you know how good it felt to interview this guy in his apartment and not in my ILF?
I'm going to have that video edited.
Yeah.
They got the whole video.
That's
This
the
is
goal,
his apartment,
though.
Joanne.
Yes. That's the goal, to move on into your own. Because, like, you probably made an impact on his life to get himself together to get his own place. He probably
Joanne,
didn't
we
have those
become the
thoughts.
stepping stone to their greatness. Remember, the social worker said, Derek, can you house this guy? And Derek, by the way, he don't have a dime.
Go back.
But Derek, we're going to pay you to house him so we can get him on his feet. Joanne, I don't take all this credit, Joanne. It's a team. I played the housing. Some social worker played their job. Case management got in it, and it came back to me for housing. Now he got his own place.
Derek, Alex.
Wow.
It's a team. Jay?
Alex is spying on us on Instagram again this Saturday.
Alex in here today. What's going on, Alex?
Hey, Alex.
One of our VAs.
Hey,
Should be off
Alex.
Joanne's on the live.
Alex ain't sleeping, is he? Is he sleeping?
Alex.
Joanne, what's your thoughts about being able to take a guy from homeless to hopeful that today when they meet you, they don't have no money?
Yeah.
But because of this program and this mailbox money that I'm teaching y'all, some social worker and case manager see to that I get paid so that he gets back on his feet.
And Derek, that's actually a question that we have.
Joanne, how does that make you feel to help somebody that today they don't have the money, but the program does? And Joanne, you're able to help them.
Oh, it makes my heart melt. I mean, it's just a win-win. Like everybody wins.
Everybody.
You know, it's a blessing. It's a blessing for everybody. So yeah, that's how it is with me too. You know, these organizations, they call me. Yeah, I can house them, and it works for everybody. I love it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So that actually goes into a question that was asked by the Rich family. And they say, can you share a little bit about how the social workers and case managers role in making sure residents' housing costs is covered each month? So again, that is what Joanne just spoke of. Not every case manager that calls you is going to be willing to pay for this individual's rent. So
most of them have their own income.
Right. They'll all have 90% of our residents, I'll say, have their own income, and that's how they render payment. But again, Joanne just told you there are organizations, there are programs that do provide an allotted amount of rental payments over a specified amount of time for those individuals.
Absolutely. I have like the Department of Corrections is paying rent for the lady that I have for 6 months.
Oh, wow.
Until she gets her
say that one time a little bit louder. Who's paying for it and why?
Okay, I have a lady from prison, Department of Corrections, will be paying her rent for 6 months until she gets her SSDI.
Mailbox money, ladies and gentlemen.
Mailbox. No touch mailbox money.
That's it. That's
Go ahead, Shay. I love it.
I just wanted to share that part because I noticed that it was a question that came in that I had starred from earlier. So
Qatar says I have a resident moving out and a resident moving in this morning.
Come on here,
turnover for us, Joanne, as you know, it is not that bad. Go ahead, Shay.
But look at how that turnover worked. One moves in, one moves out, one moves in. Same day. I love it.
I got a plan. That's South Carolina, y'all. So Qatar, somebody that joined us again years ago, right? And did not start as fast as a lot of people. But Qatar is the epitome of never give up, keep pushing. And now Qatar is looking for her second place. Big shout out to South Carolina. So,
congratulations, Katara.
Congratulations, sis.
I think it's on Miss Shay now.
Hey, Mary. No, I'm good. You said you were going to ask me. Oh, I did have a
question.
So
actually, I can preface it.
Wait, hold on. I did have
go
something.
ahead.
Go back to Mr. Arthur's picture.
Okay.
So Joanne asked, you asked or said something, Joanne, and it sparked this thought in my mind. So having this opportunity to take this gentleman from homeless to hopeful was huge for us. But Miss Joanne, guess what? He still has no family. Like that didn't change. Like he still has no family.
We're his family.
So guess who his family now is?
You guys are.
I'm the darker grandson.
His next of kin? No, seriously, his next of kin is Derek.
Yep.
Wow.
On real documentation.
And I had nothing to do with that.
He literally called one day and he says, hey, Derek, just checking in on you. Just wanted to let you know I'm going in for some surgery on my eye. And, I was filling out the paperwork and they asked me for my next of kin. And he said, that's a good question. He says, Lord, help me figure this one out. And so he literally called Derek and he says, I'm here now and I need to fill out this paperwork and I want you to be my next of kin. So if anything was to happen to
that actually happened to Otis
forward,
once.
Yeah,
a client put Otis as his
next
not payee. it was next to
It was
kin,
next
but
to
it was
kin.
something else for like beneficiary, like when
Yes.
the guy passed away.
Yep. Sure
Like, that
did.
was crazy. But
That messed
again,
Otis up.
when you're in this and doing good work, man, a lot of things that happen to you that you're not looking for.
Yeah.
It just simply happens.
It does. It does.
So again, for anybody that just joined us, man, in case if you're lost, we're talking about the housing referral agency today, but we're kind of mixing it all up. So again, if you've never met us, if you don't know us, the gist is that we teach you guys how to start your own housing program without the need for a license, without the need to buy the property. And again, you don't have to be a nurse or a doctor or a CNA to administer medications, because we don't do that. We serve
Not
a
at all.
population of people that are completely independent, and they're called ILFs, which stand for Independent Living Facility, not a group home, not an ALF, because all of that requires a license and a bunch of red tape to jump through. An ILF, guys, you can start tomorrow by renting or leasing, or if God real good to you, you buy that place. And then you build relationships with social workers and case managers, just like I talk about on this slide. Anybody that says, hey, I rent rooms, anybody that's an ALF owner, operator, that's how you become that HRA. So again, we teach on Saturdays, how can you do what we do, but if you don't have a property, if you can't buy one, rent one, or lease one. And we teach you that the real estate is not that an importance, but the relationship is. So again, if you build relationship with people like me, other people that have the real estate, you can go to hospital and run your big mouth and tell people that you have a housing program. But now you should be leveraging other people that already have the real estate to do it in. So in your city today, each one of y'all should be posting on social media, and a post should sound something like this. Do you have a housing program? Do you rent rooms to people and you struggle to fill those beds? Give me a call, because at my program, in my business, we get calls each and every day from hospitals with people with guaranteed income. And my job is to match them with you, Mr. Real Estate Investor. So let's work together. You keep buying real estate, I keep filling the beds. Oh, and by the way, I do have a referral fee. Guys, that's essentially what you're doing. You're changing lives through housing. So again, man, this can be purchased on our website. Normally it's $19.97. That's been on sale for like 5 months. The original cost for this, guys, is like $4,500. But here lately, we've even released a scholarship that allows this to even go to $9.97. So the person that asks, how can I access this? You can actually go to our website at forsterconsultants.com/ I think it's HRA.
So I just put all products and
Okay.
services, and it's in the chat.
Yeah.
So if they
And then the
chat,
scholarship, Shay may have a separate way to get that. But you may have to text a
you gotta
certain
text
number.
scholarship.
But if you text the word scholarship to 407
Mhm.
326 0086, my team will send you some information. But also with that same text or an additional one, just put an HRA, because usually when you type for the scholarship, I think that's for the IMB. But
Correct.
maybe it's the same protocol. So still do it.
I believe it is.
Still type scholarship to 407 326 0086. And then after you get that text message, type in HRA. So that way my team will know exactly what you want to apply the scholarship to.
Mhm.
And with that, I gift you for free the virtual assistant. So guys, the VA is not a part of this. I just give it to you because I understand that most of y'all are busy and you're not great at social media. And because we own the company, I can give you a virtual assistant for free.
Ooh.
Now, the $5 an hour that you got to pay the VA to do the work, now that's going to be on you. But the vet to train and endorse that VA to you, what would normally cost you $697, guys, I waive that and I give it to you. We also give you the standard operating procedures and training. We give you the course and the ebook. That's what we call the HRA business in a box. Okay. And for the payment plan for that question, we do have financing. So our financing goes up to $50,000. So whatever you need from us, and trust me, I have nothing yet that costs 50 grand, but our financing goes up to 50 G's, and you can use the overage for whatever you want. So even for that $19.97, Miss Dobson, or the $9.97 with the scholarship, if you do get it, that can be done through our financing as well. And then if you don't qualify for the financing, we do something that's called in-house financing. And that'll be kind of a small deposit and then monthly payments.
And Derek,
So to answer your question, yes, we do have payment plans.
you know what we haven't talked about when it comes to the HRA product,
Talk
the
to me.
business in a box, the community.
Yeah.
The private community. So we have a private Telegram community where you may
Well,
not
people
get
have the real
one-
estate.
if you don't have one-on-one coaching, but you do have a community. If you post those questions, let's say you come into a situation within your HRA journey, that's what that community is for. Not only is it that, but we also have some housing providers in that community as well. So if you have an idea, if you, I mean, have a need in a certain location, you can plague that community with that question. They may
Yep.
have a resource in that area that they connect you with. So again, the HRA community is your one-stop group coaching place. You've got questions on your journey for becoming or to becoming an HRA. That's where you put those questions. Not only that, we've had some live conversation in those communities lately.
There's already content inside of it too,
there.
videos and content and teachings
And
that
you
I've
can-
done, and we leave them there.
They don't go nowhere. So you can go back as far as from when that community opened to today, where that conversation is ongoing. You'll see again, these live sessions do get posted in there as well, but you'll also see our live coaching in those communities also. So
hey, what's going on, family? Just to let you know really quick, everything that you're listening to right now, I actually have it in a more structured way in a webinar. So when you guys get done here, go to forsterconsultants.com, click the tab that says webinars, and there's 2 webinars there. One is for you to be the actual ILF operator, meaning that you want to do it. And then the other one is the HRA. That stands for Housing Referral Agency, where you're able to take people from homeless to hopeful, and you actually don't need the real estate. It stands for Housing Referral Agency, and we call it a business in a box. But definitely go to forsterconsultants.com, watch both of those webinars, then set up a free strategy call with me and my team, and let's see how we can get you started. Back to the show. Right, so let's do straight talk with.
I gotta bring that segment back, huh?
I love that. My VA made me a video too, Shay. So I have one too.
Listen, that's a whole segment that I did the year before last. I need to bring it back. It's a YouTube segment, but it's gonna probably be more so about, just business in general. But yeah, let's get down to
So let's talk about this real quick. So I want to jump over to the side to where you begin to start changing lives of the people that you're housing. Now, obviously, I'm in these pictures, but I'm at Shay's facility.
In the pictures.
So, guys, y'all know me. I'm all in front of the camera. I'm going to run my big mouth. Shay is not quite like that all the time, but I'm at her facility, and these is Shay's women. Shay, talk about what you do annually. And after you talk about it, Shay, I want to ask Joanne, what's her opinion on it, and would she consider doing something that's similar to it?
I just thought about this. Hold on. I just got excited because what we're doing at the new house is going to be Angela's Oasis. Can you imagine this year's new one? That just excited
on
me.
The patio.
It just excited me. I'm sorry, guys. I had a moment. But what we do every year, we try to we partner with other organizations, other entrepreneurs in the community that will come to my ILFs and render services, i.e., maybe a massage, maybe facials.
Harmony and Flow is featured in this one.
It may be a makeup and spa day where we just have pedicures, manicures, and that's something that I try to do every year. With the population I had last year, I was not able to do it just due to certain different circumstances. So with the move and everything that's happening, I'm excited to partner with some of these individuals to do it again this year.
So talk about what was going on in these pictures that you're seeing right now. Who is that and what are you doing?
Right. This is Flowing in Harmony massage. What is it? Is it parlor now? Is she in a parlor? But anyway, she's a massage therapist. Also very wow, it was very spiritually enlightened. The lady started off before massages even happened. She cited this poem that really fit the demographic of the ladies in the house. And then they had a moment of reflection, and they cried, they prayed together. It was amazing. This is what you're seeing here. Like, my ladies broke down in tears because they've never experienced or had this opportunity to experience just this, a massage, a chair massage, And then while we're there, we're just talking and sharing about their backgrounds, and they got to journal. So they learned that they learned new tools, right? Which was journaling, as well as finding peace in that opportunity to journal, in that time of journaling and gratitude. So that is what Flowing in Harmony did with us that day. It was just a sweet, sweet, sweet day. The ladies were completely changed. What I'm going to do this year, Derek, I think I'm going to, a lot of times people render their services and then I can actually, they accumulate the amount that we would have paid for this service, and we're able to kind of write it off for them. But what I want to do this year is, because we've got so many great partners, I'm probably going to do a fundraiser for it as well, so that we can tip our person that comes in and does this service for us. But yeah, that's something that I do every year, Joanne. I try to do it every year.
Joanne, what's your thoughts on providing massages or either makeup or like makeup treatments or pedicures or manicures to women that have never experienced a massage or a pedicure?
Never.
I think that's awesome. I usually do that too with my ladies. I kind of like bring them like, I'll have like a pizza night or something for them, and then they even, do, like, I got a lady that she like make jewelry, and then she'll, give it to the other ladies. And, I just kind of try to do little special stuff for them
Yeah.
too, like that. I'm not that where Shay at with the parlors yet. But I try to do that. I think that's awesome. It just makes it
Yeah,
like, show them that you do care beyond,
absolutely.
the living.
And a lot of
Um,
times too, Miss Joanne, you don't have to always pay for this.
Don't.
Sometimes people want to just pour into other people, or just pour in a service for some marginalized people. Because guys, don't get it twisted. Joanne or I are not housing rich people.
Right.
We're housing marginalized people, guys. So let me slow it down real quick, right? These are women that have never experienced a massage. Now, even though if it's been a long time for any of you that are listening, just close your eyes real quick and think of the last massage you had. But now just think about it. These women have never experienced that.
Some of them, the only touch they've had has been an abusive punch to the face.
Say that one more time,
Um,
Shay.
Come on here. What?
Slowly.
some of these individuals have only been touched in a demeaning
Wow.
manner.
See what I mean?
That young lady hugging me was through
Yeah.
some very dramatic, I'm talking about bad times.
And almost couldn't believe that
Yeah.
Shay would set something up like this.
Yeah.
That's what their thoughts were, Joanne. Like, wow, I can't believe she's setting this up for
Mhm.
us. As soon as the lady came, she introduced herself. She made the room extremely quiet. She said, everybody turn off your cell phones. She turned on this humidifier thing. She put this oil on everybody's wrist, and she made you inhale it. She played soft music. You had to close your eyes. She read a poem. Oh, excuse me, poem. Wow, no. Poem. How do you say that, Shay?
You say
Poem. That
poem.
sounds weird. She quoted this thing. She quoted the Bible, and then everybody spoke in terms of what they were grateful for and what they wanted to release from them. And then we prayed that the devil is under all of their feet before we left. Shay then turned this into a pizza party, and I think they
had a
made ice
ball.
cream and milkshakes and
Yeah,
all of that.
because it was a birthday too.
So there
Someone's
was
birthday
parts
was
of
a
this
few
where it
days
was
later.
serious, where it was quiet, where it was meditation, where
Yeah.
we prayed, and nobody spoke during the massage. This lady is so good. She had something going on and playing, or she was speaking while she was still massaging everybody. As the other women were waiting, because back tomorrow, Shay, will probably show them the makeup day, where we took
Okay.
women that were just regular, just plain faced, and we gave them eyebrows and eyelashes and makeup and lipstick and pedicures and manicures.
Yeah.
And again, these are women with y'all spoiled self going every Saturday to get your toes done. Some of these women have never experienced that.
Yeah.
Shay get her nails done every 2 weeks religiously. There is no overgrowth because that's just her life. Some of these women have never experienced that. Can you imagine being able to offer that, Joanne? And Joanne, by the way, from a company that says, Joanne, you know what? If you got those 6 women, Joanne, I don't mind it. I want to be a blessing to you. your program, but I also want to be a blessing to God. So I want to honor this time to your program and your women. Joanne, you set it up. I'll come and paint everybody's nails and arch everybody's eyebrows.
Derek,
Okay, you just gave me an idea.
So that it gives them the
same here,
sense
Joanne. I'm like,
of,
ooh.
like, think about that though, because
Yes.
you're giving women this sense of pride, and this is, ooh, Shay, can you remember the video? Because Shay had all of this stuff recorded.
I do.
Can you remember the video? And I won't say her name on live, but when she got done with her face, eyebrows, lashes, makeup, eye blush, she said, she looked in the mirror. My mom filmed it. I never forget it. She said, "Oh my God, is this me?" Joanne, y'all know I laugh and I joke and I play a lot. But that touched my heart so much. Joanne, in other words, if Shay will allow me to say this, she came out so pretty. She couldn't believe it. She said, "Oh my God, is this me?" Alex, if you listening, bro, I'm going to send this to you, and I want all this put on the PowerPoint by tomorrow. I'm going to send you the pictures. I'm sorry, Monday. I'm going to send you the footage of that photo shoot from the makeup day. I want to show these people this on Monday.
Yeah.
Of so again, women that have never experienced somebody scrubbing the bottom of their feet, cutting their nails, and they cutting their corns off and filing, all of that. And thank God for my cousin, Joanne, that didn't cost me nothing. She came in and volunteered her time, Joanne. But because Shay and I, what we think are good people, we tipped everybody that gave their service. Nobody wanted money, Joanne. But because we didn't want nobody to work for free, and Joanne, I love for people to respond to me and say, yes, if I ask something, so I love to pay and tip. Everybody still got paid, Joanne, but the point is, Joanne, nobody wanted any money for any of that stuff. They want to pour
that's good. You know, now that you guys gave me an idea, I'm gonna let my VA
reach out to nail salon.
Come on, Joanne. Even though I am a nonprofit,
she get
you have to be a nonprofit to do
it. I'm gonna have him reach out to organizations and talk about my facility. Hey, if anybody want to volunteer, because that did happen to me. He did it. I ain't do nothing. My VA reached out to like a consignment.
Yeah.
They were like, come get these clothes, come get this stuff. We have so much stuff you can just have.
Yeah.
So I
would email like, I just got 2 clients and both of them got hair as long as Jesus. All the Jesus pictures that are usually promoted shows Jesus with long hair. All of these guys look like a version of Jesus. Mark and my other guy, Keith.
So what
can you imagine getting these guys a haircut from a professional barber that just want to offer their time? Shay does this stuff now, y'all.
I have a lady that's ready.
You don't have to be nonprofit. I want her to cut all my guys' hair because their hair too long and they want a haircut, Joanne.
Ariel already said, just let her know.
Yeah.
You just got to get it on the schedule.
I love it. See how Joanne hears that, y'all, and moves at the speed of instruction?
You got to
it's on, y'all. It's on.
And because she got a VA, Joanne ain't going to write this letter. She's not going to send the email. She's not going to create the graphic. She's going to give the order. Hey, what his name is, Joe?
Ariel.
Hey, Ariel, Monday morning, can you make me go to Canva? Can you make us a flyer and type up an email, use ChatGPT and all that stuff, and send it out to 10 barbershops? No, in fact, 20 barbershops in the city, and find out who can come and do these ladies' hair. Can they wash,
Joanne,
condition, and blow dry my women's hair?
Hold on, Joanne.
Y'all ready?
Hold on.
This excites me.
Y'all better just
thinking of
ears.
stuff like
I want people to put their ears close to whatever they're listening to or turn up the radio.
I'm going to turn Shay volume up, y'all.
Is this thing on?
Shay, you all the way up.
Anyway, listen. Call out to the barber schools in your area.
Ooh.
Call out to the nail schools.
They got to do free work anyway.
And get them on your Rolodex.
Man, Jim's dropping big time, y'all.
Now you know my secret.
Shay, what does that nail salon do up by the McDonald's on Colonial?
Yeah, exactly.
Free. What is that place?
Manicures and Pedicures. It's a nail school. It's exactly a school.
And Shay, don't they have to have an internship the way they have to do free work?
Yes, they do. So you can either, for them, I believe you had to schedule to go there. They wouldn't let their people go out because of liability. But mostly other people, if a professor is with them on site, they can do it. So just make sure you connect. So I'm dropping gems on y'all today.
I'm
Oh
telling
I'm
my
gonna
you.
shut my
God, that's
mouth.
good. That's
That's
so
what
awesome.
happens when we go overtime. We well over our 90 minutes.
Ladies and
Derek.
gentlemen, this room's supposed to end at 11:30,
Get
but
me in
we're just
trouble.
having fun today. I appreciate each and every one of you that are here. We're going to check the chat for some questions, and we just going to kind of get back to it. I think Shay would allow us maybe to go to 12:30.
Let's answer
So if
this
you
question.
guys got questions, make sure that you put them in the chat, and we're coming right back to join the chat. Hey, David, did you know that you can start your own housing program and it doesn't require you for you to own the property and you do not need a license? So how in the world would you do that? I was always told that you had to own the property and that there was always some kind of special license that you had to get from your city to do this. People always told me that there was lots of red tape to jump through. So you mean to tell me these are also not group homes? It's actually simple. They're called independent living facilities, and Forster Consultants actually created it. They hold the trademark for it. So I follow them religiously on Instagram at Forster Consultants as well as Facebook. And every Monday night at 6 p.m., they actually go live on YouTube at Forster Consultants, and I follow them there as well. So you mean to tell me my dream of becoming this housing provider that I've always dreamt of is closer than I realize? And again, you're telling me I don't need a license and I don't have to own the property. Absolutely. You do not have to own the property. You don't have to be a nurse. You don't have to be a CNA. And you can get started as soon as tomorrow. Click the link below for more information. All right. So, guys, if you haven't by now, go ahead and scan that QR code and quit your job if you want to, or resign. That's probably a better word.
Yeah, let's resign.
In 30 days. From watching this webinar and having that free strategy call with us. But back to the show, back to Miss Shay and Miss Joanne. Shay, anything you want to hop in before we go back over to Miss Joanne?
Nope.
All right. So looks like Nikki is throwing some diamonds in the chat. We appreciate that. Thank you so much, Miss Shanita, for asking about the payment plans. And always, every day, I mean, every time I come, I'm always going to show people what it looks like. I'm still shocked that a lot of people ask me this question. We get this question probably 5 or 6 times a week. Derek, what does it look like? So even though I say it all the times, a lot of people still can't imagine that I can start an ILF in a building that looks like this, that looks like that looks like that, or looks like that. So when I'm showed or asked, Derek, what is your favorite model? I'll admit my favorite model is actually the 4-bed, 2-bath home, because I can take 8 people from homeless to hopeful. Right. And that's kind of my favorite. Like when I talk about how many people I want in terms of a low number or a high number, I like that 4-bed, 2-bath. And the reason why I always show this picture is because we get this a lot. Derek, can I do this in a mobile home? Absolutely. And I specifically showed you guys this one with the for sale sign in it, because somebody after the coaching went and bought this place, and this is what they do. So we tell people don't do this in a mobile home community. I'd rather this be a mobile home or a trailer on its own land, not in a community, because most times you're going to break the rules if you do this within a community. They want you to be the tenant most of the time. But if you find a community, sometimes they'll say, family community welcome. A lot of times that means that you can buy this place and rent it out.
Right.
But a lot of the communities of mobile homes don't want you to rent it out. They want you to be the tenant. Now, never mind the trash day, because somebody said, well, Derek, why is it full of trash in the front? Guys, this is a beautiful place, actually. Don't get it twisted. And don't be bothered by the trash out front, because that was trash day. But they wanted to show me what they were getting ready to buy. But again, it can look like this. Now, lucky for us, this is the house that is being ran now by the Angela Denise Foundation.
Don't look nothing like this.
4 years ago, Shay, this is what it looked like as an ILF. Oh, but today, you guys wouldn't even believe this house if you saw it today, which again, Alex, if you're still here, let's put this on the new one, the before and after on the slideshow from Monday.
That is crazy.
This house, I said again really slowly, used to be an ILF ran by Second Chance Housing 4 years ago. We begged the guy to buy it. He would never sell it. Today, this property has been rehabbed, refreshed with an added bedroom, and now will be ran by the Angela Denise Foundation. Miss Shay, what's your thoughts on that? He's almost speechless.
No, I need a side-by-side of the before and after to send to the
that
old
side-by-side would be beautiful.
To the old owners.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Just looking at this picture is
yeah, it's surreal, as they say, because it's not this color. None of it.
It
The
doesn't
only
look
thing
like
that stayed the same on this color is that brick front.
That's it.
But everything else
It's
is
completely
different, from the roof
Yeah.
to the coloring, everything. And if you haven't, we encourage you to go be nosy
Wow.
over at Derek Forston on Facebook. Let's become Facebook friends. And everything else at Forston Consultants.
Yep.
Everything else at Forston Consultants. And again, guys, this is what it looks like. This is one of my first ILFs many years ago. And God bless us with the entire cul-de-sac. So you can barely see that pink house to the right of it. That pink house is also being ran and operated by the Angela Denise Foundation, which is the
Sure is.
president, Miss Shay. Remember, I'm Second Chance Housing. That blue house was mine. Shay was my neighbor. Okay. But I moved out of here and I'm somewhere else now. Right. So we're slowly getting out of renting properties, and we want to buy all the
You
time
want to be
now,
like Miss
if possible.
Joanne.
We want to be Joanne. Remember, Joanne's the goal. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, if you're going to be a great HRA, one of the first questions that you must find out from the individual that needs the housing: do you mind living in a shared living environment? Which means, sir, you probably gonna have a roommate unless you decide to get one of our private rooms. Ms. Shay, any thoughts on this, or how you house women with the ADF?
Yeah, with ADF. So it's again shared. For the most part, I've noticed that my ladies are a little bit more wanting of the single rooms. So again, moving into this other property makes that so much more efficient. Larger space, all of that. But for the most part, that's the same verbiage that I give them. You know, this is a shared living environment. Prime example, we've got a lady that's moving into one of Derek's locations here very shortly, because of, again, lack of space at my places right now, right? So I had to
I'm
be
not
an
supposed to be
HRA.
housing women per
Yeah,
se,
I had to be an HRA.
but
But
Shay,
look at this.
HRA to me.
But look at this. I didn't. I had a brain aha moment, and I'm gonna ask Derek live because he may not tell me no if y'all are here and listen.
Oh,
So, so I had an idea, Derek, because we've gotten another lady coming to your house. I would like to put them in the master.
you know, I was thinking about that, but we'd have to get like the one more lady
But that makes
to make
it
that
even,
whole suite.
But it makes it make
So
more
I'm gonna give you
sense.
guys an example of what Shay just talked about. Watch this.
Sorry.
So
I
these
know that
beautiful
was
pictures that you guys are seeing, Shay knows that I have a room that is just like this.
with its own private bathroom.
It's got its own private bathroom. Double guys, this room is so big, it's bigger than some of the apartments Shay and I used to live in back before things got kind of good. Right. So there's some one-bedroom apartments, guys, that are not even as big as this room.
Yeah.
This room is so big that you can't even see all of it through one camera shot.
You got to take about 2 to
So
3.
I have a house that's a mansion, and I'm gonna show you the house because I'm very transparent. That house is, I think, on this same slideshow, right? Let me see. This one.
That one.
So this is my largest ILF to date. Now I had one bigger than this, but to date, this is my largest one. This bedroom that Shay just talked about is his own master suite. So Shay is saying, Derek, why not,
So that the ladies
instead
can
of
do
putting
something.
guys in here, since you are co-ed now in that house, give the ladies this suite, because it's got his own bathroom, double closet, separate shower, and a jacuzzi tub. So
I
Shay,
moved there.
jump in, Joanne. I almost forgot Joanne was here. Jump in, Joanne. What's your thoughts on what Shay's
I think
recommending
we
to
should
me?
do it.
Yeah, I think so, because I think like I could live there with 3 women. Because again, you got your own bathroom, you got your own, jacuzzi. It's more of like a home setting in that room versus going out and going to the bathroom. I like that setting. I do.
Put in the chat, guys. Give me 5 of y'all in terms of what's your thoughts? What should I do?
Say yes.
Shay
say
said
yes,
that I
say
shouldn't put the
yes.
men in this big room,
No,
but put the
No.
women there.
because now the women can have their own personal bathroom space.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
I
No
actually like
men.
that idea.
So
No
I think
men.
that's what we're going to do on Monday.
So that means that we
we're
would
gonna move
take
in.
an additional female now, because now, because like right now, I only have the space for the one more female, which would be 2 total. But
And we
now
have
Shay
one
is
coming
saying,
on
let's
Monday.
do 3, and let's do the 3 in the master.
Mhm.
So we'll see.
We're going to
Okay.
do it. I think that's a win.
Anything in the chat yet?
No,
5
That
of y'all, give
bathroom
me y'all
did it.
opinion on that.
That
think
bathroom
Joanne
did it.
The
That
bathroom did it,
bathroom did
Joanne?
it. Yeah, yeah. Yep.
Okay. So again, this is what the shared model looks like, guys, for when we get calls and they say, well, Derek, do I have to share a room? Well, yeah,
I
it's
got
a
another
shared
yes.
environment.
I got another yes.
Or you could do something that we would call a private room, which you guys have also seen. I posted these a lot. Let me see if I have it on here. Maybe not on that one, but I'll show you what that private room also looks like. Sure, you got another yes? Yes,
I
the
do.
ladies will really appreciate the privacy for the bathroom grooming.
I
Okay,
agree.
love it.
So guess what, y'all? On Monday night, if I come back in here and we ain't moved Annie to that other room, I'm gonna be mad.
Let us know. Let us know, Shay. We'll get on Derek.
Yep. So you guys see how Shay and I play both sides of that fence. Even though I'm second chance housing, Shay still has an input at second chance housing. Even though she's the Angela Denise Foundation and Shay can't give me a dime from that bank account, I still got a little bit of a say so over there. But that's also why we both have our own housing
They
programs.
getting you in the chat, D.
Ooh, Miss Nika said Derek will be in trouble with us. Oh man. So good stuff. So I'm going to consider that. And just real quick before I give it back over to Shay and begin to close things down, we don't buy a lot of this stuff brand new, guys. Remember, man, I was a poor social worker making 28 grand a year. God showed me a lady making 41 grand a month, right? So I couldn't buy this stuff. So a lot of this stuff is either donated,
This was from the hotel,
right? Or one time a hotel saw what we were doing literally on social media and donated a lot of stuff to us and
Yeah,
allow
check
our
out a lot
whole
of consignments.
yeah
They give away a lot of stuff.
Talk about it, Joanne. Where do you get some of your stuff from? Wade and Racine, Wisconsin.
Yeah, I go to the consignments. I go to the, like the discounted, what do you call them when they have clothes that's discounted? Stuff like that.
I know what you're talking about. I can't think of the name.
That's still
It's kind
consignment,
of a
right?
kind. It is a
Salvation
consignment, but
Army,
Salvation
Goodwill.
Army, Goodwill. Yep, I
Yeah.
go there, and they have like furniture, nice stuff. I mean, clothes,
Thrift store. That's
household
it, Nikki.
items. Go there and try there first to see if you could get the stuff free. Because I didn't buy anything new, nothing.
Yep.
In my
Thrift store. Or social media, because if you're like Joanne and you got a great VA, Joanne, talk about how the VA can post on social media every day in terms of what your needs are.
Yeah, he posts that, we need, stuff to clean, like not to clean, but like utensils, spoons, forks, dishes, all that stuff. And yeah, and they, reached out and said, hey, we got this stuff for free. Just come get it out of our hands. So, like I said, my house is pretty much, Goodwill and consignment stuff.
But beautiful, beautiful stuff, though.
But nice stuff.
Right?
Yes. Nothing raggedy.
Also, real quick, Joanne, tell people, do you have a 4-2, a 8-5, a 9-6, a 1-2? Like, what is your setup in your ILF?
Okay, I have a 4 1.5 bath.
Okay.
So I have four. I was gonna do the 2 in the room, but like I said, the women, no, they don't, really like. So I do have 4 women. I have 3, but I can do 4 women in the house.
Okay. 4 1.5. So for everybody that just heard that. And Joanne, again, unlike a lot of us, so probably 90 to 95% of us guys, we go out and rent or lease this house. So if you just joined us, don't get it twisted, right? Now, Joanne is the goal, but most of us, including me, your coach, guys, I rented these places before I was ever able to buy one. Yeah. Right. So renting or leasing is probably going to be most of y'all's first and fastest way to get into it. But again, you also just heard Joanne give you a gem. This picture that you're looking at right now, Joanne doesn't do this with her women. Joanne started out with 2 per room, but she quickly found out that with her women and her population, and because for Joanne, there is no overhead because she owned the place. Joanne now has 1 person per room, and now they're all called suites. Yep. So even though Joanne still produces a shared environment, her rooms are now suites or private rooms. So now the price is different. So let's just say, and these are not her prices, but I'm just give you an example. Let's just say Joanne's her shared room like this is just say $500 per bed. That's $1,000 per room. But when she does that 1 bed per room, Joanne may charge $700 or $750 because now it's a suite and they don't share that room.
Yeah.
Joanne, can you talk a little bit about what changes did you see when you went away from the 2 women per room to the 1 woman per room? What did you see?
Um, they privacy. They had a sense of privacy. Um, I don't know. It just
Did your
well, it
problems
was for
go down?
me.
Did the problems go down?
Well, it never really was a problem because I didn't
Perfect.
start
Good.
off with the
Good.
2. I
Good.
just went
Okay.
in with the 1.
Okay.
So, but when they were getting calls, I was saying, okay, I have single rooms and I have 2 beds in 1 room, but they all were like, no, I prefer the single. So I just converted it all single,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Love it.
it just worked out better that way.
So let
But
that
for
be an idea for anybody that's listening. If you're thinking of getting into this and you're not like, us, but you're more like Joanne, consider doing maybe 1 person per room, right? Because the math is still going to make sense. But remember, Joanne owns her place, meaning free and
Yeah.
clear. There is no mortgage. So if you have a mortgage, but it's small, because again, if I rent a place, mine gonna be double of what you paying if you own it.
Yeah.
So if you own the place and your overhead is small, consider maybe doing just 1 person per room. We always say less people, less problems. Back on
Absolutely.
you, Michelle.
No, you said it.
Yeah,
Joanne
it
said it
works
too.
out really good that way too, Derek, with the 1. um and even the finance and getting paid, it still works out even good too, if either way.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So y'all, again, thank y'all so much for being here. We super appreciate it. Shay is going to scan this comment section one more time for any questions or concerns that maybe we have missed. But I think we've actually gone an hour over. So
Mhm.
this has been a lot of great information. I hope you guys kind of learned either a new way or your eyes were at least open to something new or a new opportunity. So we always tell people on Saturdays, soak up what you've heard. Maybe consider going back and checking either the replay of this or go and watch one of the older rooms. So when you go to YouTube at Forster Consultants, make sure you click that link that says live, and that'll show every time that we go live for the past few years. And you guys can check out a Monday room, a Tuesday room, or Saturday room. So
Yep.
remember, Mondays are all about housing the homeless and the displaced in your own ILF. Tuesdays are about virtual assistants and how we leverage them to run any business, and also digital flow solutions, the best software system and website builder and CRM in the world. And then every Saturday, we teach people how to do what we do, but not having to buy, rent, or lease a property, but leveraging relationships.
Mhm.
So we're here live 3 days a week, guys. And hopefully, again, today we showed you something or introduced you to something that can not only change your life, but also change the life of some of the people that are in the city in which you reside in. So Miss Shay got a question up that says, I'm very interested in the HRA referrals. What city are you guys in? So I'm in Orlando, Daryl. So is my VA, even though she lives in the Philippines. But also there's a lot of people in this room that do that. So years ago, we never really kind of allowed people to be HRA'd into if you didn't have our teaching. We've kind of gotten a little loose on that now. And it's just because we didn't want people to receive these clients but not know what they're doing. But now we leave that relationship up kind of between you all.
Because
So a
we
lot of people
changed.
will come in this room and literally put in the chat, hey, I have a house in Houston, Texas. Can you refer to me? I have a 4-bed, 2-bath home. Call me. Here's my number. So we network in this room, right? So not only do I give y'all the game on how to do it, we also give a lot of networking opportunities. And hopefully I showed each and every one of you today of how you can start this business tomorrow. So even though, yes, I want you to build a business and get an LLC and a website and all of that, you guys can start this business tomorrow.
Yeah.
And it's simply doing what Angela Brooks has been doing all week long, is setting up appointments and calling hospitals, social workers, and case managers, telling them, explaining to them that you are a housing provider
Correct.
and you're just leveraging people like us, people that are in your city that already have the real estate. Here's a post that you guys can put out today to find people in your area that have the housing. It sounds like this. What's up, Facebook family? Do you have no. What's up, Facebook family? Do you rent rooms to people? Do you have a group home, an ILF? Do you have an ALF and you struggle to fill those beds?
Mhm.
Give us a call. This is exactly what we do. My company receives phone calls each and every day with guaranteed income type clients, and I want to bridge the gap and bridge them to you. That should be a post. Now, obviously, I just rambled that off the top of my head, but if you guys use an AI tool by the name of Chat GPT, you can type that into Chat GPT and it'll spit it out so beautifully and say, make this a social media post for Facebook. It'll spit it out real nice and neat. And it'll sound like, again, something like this. What's up, Instagram family? I have a company that receives calls every day with people with guaranteed income. If you have a housing program and you rent rooms to people, or you have a group home or an ILF or an ALF and you struggle to get clients, give us a call and let's work together to fill your empty beds. Bam. So if you forget everything that I just said, guys, if you remember that and you post that today, watch how you start building relationships. Also, please go and be nosy and look at my Instagram and my Facebook at Forster Consultants and at Derek Forston. And look at what I'm posting each and every day to get these people to call us. So, guys, we don't hide this at all. Okay. So, again, I approve this entire message, guys. My name is Derek Forston. Again, thank y'all so much for being here. I'm going to let Shay bless y'all out of here real quick. And then we're going to pray y'all out of here. I'm going to let Shay probably pray us out. I think Shay's waving at. She's gone already. Shay, you gone? Shay's already ready to go, you guys, and working on something different. So thank y'all so much for being here. I appreciate it. Go to church tomorrow or somewhere of the house of worship. Or if you don't go to a church, make sure you have a conversation with God tomorrow, starting today probably, and tell God, say, God, I just saw something that was really cool. The Forston family, they just taught us something that's like, God, I want to be a part of that. And God, if you will allow me to get into it, God, I want to change lives just like they're doing. You're no respecter of person. So God, if Derek and his family are the people that are supposed to teach this to me, God, open up every avenue because God, I want to get in it. Because Derek said that this is a ministry and God, that you will respect this because you said, God, the poor, the needy, and the widow will always be among us. And Derek and his family is teaching us how to do it. So God, open up the door for me to be in it. That's your prayer tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Start it today, but especially when you go to the house of worship, if this is what you want to do, guys, I implore you to get into it. This is not only just a business, ladies and gentlemen. This is a ministry where you can save and change the lives of people through real estate. Again, I'm no genius, right? I barely finished high school, and my wife, Shay, tricked me to go to college. And through the grace of God, y'all, I finished that. And God was just so genius that he allowed me to get into this to be able to one day show you all how I do this so that you can do it and not just me bragging about how great we are and that we do it. One of the biggest promises that I made, God said, God, if you let me get in it, and boy, God, if I can quit my job, God, I'll show everybody how to do this. I'll take time from my schedule, God, and I'll teach it. And God, I'll take no credit. So a lot of times when y'all hear me talk about dummy me and I take no credit, I'm not the smartest guy in the classroom. That's just my way of giving it back to God and saying, God, this is yours. Thank you for letting me be a good steward over it to allow me to get into it. Because again, we always tell people this isn't rocket science. This is just something that allows you to get into real estate and social services together. And as I'm showing on the screen, these are the lives that you can change once you start adding certain things to it. So the goal for us, I would love to see you guys leave your job, resign from your job the right way, with the right amount of time and with the right notice. But I would love, and my dream is to see each and every one of you guys quit and leave your job to do this absolutely full time. So again, if you're new to us, don't forget we have an absolute free gift for each and every one of you all. If you just type in the word new to 407-326-0086, we got a free gift for you to continue your learning and your teaching. And by all means, make sure you guys watch that webinar because I want to speak to you by phone, right? That's how you're going to know if this is for you. I usually tell people once you talk to us one time by phone and you've watched a couple of these lives, you should know immediately if you want to do this. Because first of all, not because we're so great, but God is all over this. And God respects this business and this ministry in terms of what we're doing. Remember, the poor, the needy, and the widow will always be among us. And because we're housing them through real estate, guys, we're doing God's will. And we don't have to have a microphone on a stage and call ourselves a pastor. But this right here is true ministry. that each and every one of you guys can get into. And this is your platform. The houses that you'll rent or buy is the platform that you will start all of this from. So again, thank y'all so much. And then we'll see y'all Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern, where we're going to come back here again and learn how to do this and do it with dignity, do it with respect and honor, and do it the right way and not in rats and roaches. Last but not least, Miss Joanne, if you're still with us, if you can bless the people real quick before you go, because thank you, Joanne. You're usually always at work and not available, but you were today, and we appreciate that. So we just want to tell you on a live stage, thank you so much. You've been an encouragement to a lot of people. So for them to actually hear you now, again, we appreciate that. So Joanne, if you're still here, just bless the people real quick. I'll pray them out of here, and then we'll let them go.
Okay, yeah, I just want to say anybody's thinking about this, just keep coming to these broadcasts and listening to Derek and Shay. I'm the type of person I usually move at the speed of, instructions. So just keep coming. If you're thinking about it, just keep coming and listening to them. It's very encouraging. And this system works, y'all. I mean, I'm a living proof. And just, like I said, just keep coming to the meetings and keep listening and just getting educated. Thank
Good
you,
stuff.
Derek.
No, thank you, Joanne. I really appreciate it. And next time, y'all, can we get Joanne to turn her camera on? So if y'all want to see
I'm looking
Joanne's face,
crazy. I was at
somebody
the
type in the word
gym.
face. No, Joanne, we super appreciate you. And you also just said something else that I want to encourage people, right? There's no need to get into this business, y'all, and then your health fails you. So I want to congratulate Joanne, because it seems like here lately, a lot of times that I'm seeing you, Joanne, you're also in the gym. So that tells me, Joanne, that you're taking care of your physical body. You also have a relationship with God. So your spiritual thing is intact. And again, you're helping people. So God, it's
Hmm.
hard to lose in life when you're doing it like that. Really slow.
Yes.
Joanne is taking care of her physical body. She's also got a relationship with God, but she's also helping people by doing business.
Yes.
Hard to lose in life like that. So again, man, I leave y'all with the quote that Joanne is the goal. And I'm not joking. Joanne is the absolute goal, ladies and gentlemen, because again, like most of y'all, Joanne's got a job. Like most of y'all, she got a business. And like most of y'all, she's still really busy in life. But she's not let any of that kind of get into the way of what God has called her to do, which now she realizes is housing people that are marginalized and displaced and less fortunate than she is.
Absolutely.
That's why God gonna bless her. Did you hear what she said earlier? She's gonna move out of her home that she's built and called home for herself for years. She's gonna move out of that place, turn it into an ILF, and she's gonna now rent a place. Man, you can't tell me God don't respect that. Come on, man. You can't tell me God will say, wow, look at the heart of Joanne. How can I bless her now? Because she's taking care of my people. Lord have mercy. Joanne, I better close, because if not, I'm going to just keep going. Father God, thank y'all so much. God, thank you so much for the seed that was sown today. God, thank you for the ability to give what you gave Joanne, myself, and my wife, Shay. God, thank you for the ability to teach this to other people, because God, people hid this from me. God, I thank you for the ability to give it, and I thank you for the want to be able to teach it. Father God, today, everybody that is under the sound of my voice, I ask that you will bless them financially, physically, and spiritually. Father God, close every door that they're not supposed to be involved in, but God, open every door of opportunity that you do want us to be involved in. Father God, you have not given us the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind to make great decisions and to house the homeless. Father God, today the devil is under our feet and has no place in our life. God, you rule and you reign, and you are the CEO of it all. And God, thank you for allowing us to be good stewards over what you've given us. So, God, again, the devil is a liar. And I pray that everybody here today has great health, because God, is hard to do your will without the sound mind, the mind of Christ, and an able body. So today I pray over each and every person that God, you heal them from the top of their head to the soles of their feet. Today we call the program blessed. Before some of them, God, even get the keys to the first facility we dedicated to you now. And God, as everybody comes through the threshold of their new facility, that they'll be blessed, they'll be highly favored, and they'll be physically healed and restored mentally. God, will be ever so careful to give you all the glory, all the honor, and all the credit, because God, we take none of that. But God, thank you for using us as a vessel to do your will through real estate. Now unto him that is able to do exceedingly, abundantly, above all we can ever ask or think. And Father God, thank you so much for the praise report that my client gave me yesterday that he beat cancer. Oh, Jesus, in the name of Jesus, God, I thank you. God, I thank you.
Amen.
God, he came to us with cancer. And 2 days ago, he went and got a report. And God, you healed him.
Jesus.
God, I would like to think that we were a part of that. God, you allow us to provide the clean, safe, affordable housing while he got treatment. God, I didn't heal him. You did. But God, thank you for giving us the means to house this guy. And thank you that he told us about it. God, I thank you. That's the reason why we do this, God. That's the reason, not the financials, not the scream on the mountaintop, look at me, me, me. But God, you said that we ought to take care of the poor, the needy, and the widow. God, this guy was a lot of that. And he also had cancer. But God, because of who you are, and because of the relationship that you allow us to have with you, God, you partner with us. And we broke and we killed cancer. God, we give you all the glory. We give you all the honor. And we give you all the praise. And it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Jesus.
Amen. Praise
Whew.
the Lord.
Thank you,
Amen.
Jesus.
So Dennis, in this independent living facility model, right, which y'all call ILFs, what kind of residents can I house in this kind of model?
David, that's a great question. And that's actually what makes the ILF model so great, is because it's flexible. So prime example, you can house military veterans, elderly adults, women that are escaping domestic violence, and the list goes on and on and on.
So Dennis, where do you get your residents from? I see you guys on TikTok and Facebook, you guys getting all of these houses. Like, where in the world are you getting these people from?
Yeah, that's actually pretty easy. Forster Consultants teaches us to use social media such as Instagram, Facebook to let people know who we are, what we do, but probably most importantly, who do we serve? And we do that very consistently. So every day, 7 days a week, there's something being posted about what we do and who we serve, but also building relationships with social workers and case managers. Again, letting them know who we are, what we do, and most importantly with them that we're available.
Dennis, how in the world are you able to do this without a license, bro?
David, remember the reason why we don't need a license, because remember, the clients that we serve, they're independent. So that means that they can take their own medications, they can provide their own transportation, and they can cook and provide their own food.
Dennis, man, you seem to know a lot about this independent living stuff, man. How do you know so much?
Well, first of all, I graduated from Forster Consultants University, and I have a master's degree in independent living facilities. And I join the Forster crew every Monday on YouTube at 6 p.m. Eastern. They go live, and that guy Derek, man, he give the game away. So I'm always there.
So Dennis, what in the world are the requirements to get started with something like this?
The only requirement for this, David, is a big heart for God, his people, and the love for real estate. That's it.
And bro, don't think I ain't listening, because I am listening, but where can I find more information like this at, man? Because I really want to get started, man.
David, if I were you, I'd follow Derek Forston on Facebook and TikTok, and then I'd follow Forston Consultants on everything else in terms of Instagram, Facebook, and on YouTube. Again, really slowly, David, because you're hard-headed. I'd follow Derek Forston at Facebook on his personal page. I'd follow him on TikTok, but I will also follow Forston Consultants on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Don't forget, David.
Hey, Dennis, man, I really appreciate that, man. I'm going to do exactly what you told me to do. I'm going to follow Forster Consultants on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook.
No problem, David. That's actually what I'm here for. And by the way, where did you get that hoodie? I like that.
Oh, this? I got this from Second Chance Apparel. I'll put the link below. This is for aspiring entrepreneurs, and the reason why